Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but get pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eye. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Bible Guy here, coming at you live from Northeast Texas. Today's topic, why should I be Christian? Let's see if there are any Christians out there who can give me a good reason to be a Christian. Dylan Kintz says, God loves you, lost little sinners. No, because that would require that he first exists. If you don't exist, you can't fucking love me. Facts. Anyways, everyone make sure you tap that screen, share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, with your enemies. Tap that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. Tap that screen like the Romans tapped the nails into Jesus. My door is open. 1 second. I don't like that. Guys, Bible Dog is moving away. Oh, what a shameful way to be. I'm sorry you feel that way. Yes, it is very shameful to be a Christian. I agree. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Bible Dog is moving away to go live with her mama, in Chi-Town. So, very sad about that. But yet tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Thursday when I go live, that'll be the last day she's here. And I will make sure that you guys are able to say your goodbyes to her. Deflection already? Not a deflection. It's shameful to be a Christian. To believe in bullshit without evidence and to excuse all kinds of horrible shit in the name of God. Absolutely horrible. All right. Hello, heathens. I hope you're all well. I'm doing well. Now, my sleep's been off a little bit ever since I watched that scary film, Obsession. And then I had like an eye infection earlier this week too. It's just been one thing after the other. I have not gotten a decent night of sleep. I went to sleep around 6:30 this morning. And then woke up at 2:30. So it's been one hell of a week as far as the sleep is concerned. But Dylan, perhaps you'd like to come up and have a conversation with me as to why I should be a Christian. I don't see any good reason to be a Christian, but maybe you could be the one who convinced me. Everyone on YouTube, make sure you're tapping that screen as well. Oh, not tapping the screen. I don't know what tapping the screen does on YouTube, but everyone make sure you like the live, share it out, send in your super chats. And if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. I would, but I have a feeling you don't genuinely want to. Oh, what a good excuse, Dylan, to get out of the conversation. I would come up with excuses too, so I wouldn't have to defend the Bible live in front of everybody. Nini, come here. Come here. Come say hi to the people. She just went out and got a shot today. Oh. She went out and got a shot today. Oh. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong. If it's true, I would like to know. All right. We got Ephesians 4 church. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yeah.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Why do you call yourself the Bible Guy?
Because I know the Bible better than most TikTok Christians.
How do you know the Bible? Do you used to be a Christian?
Yeah.
What made you fall away?
The Bible. I read it, studied it.
How's that?
Yeah, well, it started off when I was evangelical Christian, and I wanted to like bring Jewish people to know Jesus as the Messiah. So naturally, what I did was I read the Old Testament. I learned Hebrew so I could learn the prophecies, only to find out that the New Testament constantly misquoted the Old Testament and that Jesus didn't actually fulfill any prophecies from the Old Testament.
Okay.
So that was the first step. I mean,
Got
that's
it.
why I left Christianity. And then I applied the same skepticism to the Hebrew Bible that I did to the New Testament. And that's why I ended up leaving like God altogether.
Sorry, that you fell away from him.
It's fine.
He's human. I love you, and
Don't say
Jesus
that. Don't
truly is the Messiah. He truly did come in the flesh.
Then why didn't he fulfill any prophecies?
No, honestly, man, it's not weird. It's called the love of Jesus. So it's something I can't even explain.
It is weird, and I will ask that as a grown ass man.
Okay.
From one grown ass man to another, I'll just ask you not to do that. Now, if he's the Messiah, why didn't he fulfill any prophecies?
He definitely did.
Like what?
I mean, you've read them, and there are prophecies all throughout it.
I've read it.
Speak,
which is why I know he didn't fulfill any.
But, only reason I came up here, man, is to tell you millions of people have seen him with their own two eyes. Testimonies all over the world,
and
Muslims included.
I haven't seen him, so how do I know that y'all aren't having mental breakdowns?
Well, I mean, you fell away from him, so why should he show himself to you now that you're against him? You knew that was going to happen. Your heart was never right with God.
Saul.
If you continued with us,
Saul was out there. Saul was out there fucking killing Christians, and Jesus showed himself to him. I think Jesus is either Jesus is a pansy, or he doesn't exist.
Here's what happened, man. 7 more came back more wicked than the first, and they dwell with you.
I don't believe that's
the only way you can repent.
Why should I think that's true?
Okay.
Why should I think that's true?
Well, let me ask you this: before you knew Christ, were you talking bad about him like you are now?
No, but that's because I wasn't aware of the Bible.
Okay, that's one prophecy Jesus fulfilled.
Wait, no. The reason I talk shit about the Bible,
they will hate me, and they will be.
Okay, none of the preaching. No one cares about preaching. The reason why, like, we talk shit about God here on this live is because he is.
You asked me what prophecy has he fulfilled?
Ephesians, chill out, relax. Okay,
this one.
This is not a prophecy. I said, well, you probably didn't understand the question. Then I'll get to that in a second. But the question was, what prophecies about the Messiah?
Look, man, he loves you. Repent.
I don't care. Anyways, so you're just here to preach. Now, if I wanted to hear preaching, I'd go to church on Sundays. You can have I can't preach. Therefore, I'll just run away. Boo-hoo. God. It's like, that wasn't a great conversation. I don't have high hopes that this next conversation is going to be good because it never is with this individual. Liam, not number one. Liam, welcome back to the show.
I'm not going to troll today. I'll have a great conversation with you if you can be respectful. How about that? Can we agree on that?
As long as you answer questions and don't dodge, yeah.
Are you going to answer questions as well?
I always do.
Okay, great. Let's do this.
Why should I be a Christian, Liam?
Well, I want to stick on the last points because you said that there's no prophecies that were fulfilled in the Bible.
No messianic prophecies that Jesus fulfilled that are particular to the Messiah.
Okay, so the prophecies that we would want to look for would predate Christ's arrival, okay, to the scene, okay? Zechariah, I always loved when Zechariah spoke about Jesus Christ, okay, riding through town on a donkey, okay?
Is that all it takes to fulfill that prophecy, is riding to Jerusalem on a donkey?
I think the simplicity of it, I think that's why the Jewish, God said there's Jews and Gentiles. Can we agree on that?
Wait, Liam, I asked you a question. So I answered a question.
I'm not done. I'm not done with...
Well, no, Liam. You said, I told you I would answer your questions. You
asked a question. Yeah, I knew you were going to just start yapping. Go ahead.
It's not yapping when I hold you to the same standard that you want me to hold you to. So, like, you asked me, will I answer questions? I did. Now I'm asking you a question. Is all it take to fulfill Zechariah 9:9 simply to ride into Jerusalem on a donkey? Is that all it takes to fulfill that prophecy?
No, that's just, part of Christ and his Messiah and his whole legacy, okay?
Of that particular prophecy, I mean, is that all it takes to fulfill that particular prophecy is to ride into Jerusalem on a donkey? Because there's
No,
more
I think
to it than that one little bit.
there is a lot more to it, yeah.
Yeah, like for example,
Behold,
at-
this is behold, this is the Messiah that will take away the sins of the world. There was
What?
a lot.
that's not. Wait, where's that in Zechariah 9:9? Remember, we're talking about Zechariah 9:9 right now.
Why don't you
Rejoice,
read through it. Why don't you
rejoice.
read through it?
Yeah. Watch this. Rejoice greatly, O daughter
Wait,
Zion.
where are you starting? Where are you starting from? Just so I know.
Zechariah 9:9. Do you want me to start from Zechariah 9:1? That's going to make it worse for you.
Yeah, you could back up a little bit for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll make it worse for you. Sure. An oracle. The word of Yahweh is against the land of Hadrach and will rest upon Damascus. For to Yahweh belongs the capital of Aram, as do all the tribes of Israel. Hamath also, which borders on it, Tyre and Sidon, though they are very wise, Tyre has built itself a rampart and heaped up silver like dust and gold like the dirt of the streets. But now the Lord will strip it of its possessions and hurl its wealth into the sea, and it shall be devoured by fire. Ashkelon shall see it and be afraid, Gaza too, and shall writhe in anguish. Ekron also, because its hopes are withered. The king shall perish from Gaza. Ashkelon shall be uninhabited. A mongrel people shall settle in Ashdod. And I will make an end of the pride of Philistia. I will take away its blood from its mouth, and its abominations from between its teeth. It too shall be a remnant for our God. It shall be like a clan in Judah, and Ekron shall be like the Jebusites. Then I will encamp at my house as a guard, so that no one shall march to and fro, and no oppressor shall again overrun them. For now I have seen with my own eyes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you. Triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim
Amen.
and the war. Oh,
Hallelujah.
wait, I wasn't done. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. He shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea and from river to the ends of the earth. So, a couple questions here. One,
Wow.
when did
W. Thank you. Wait a minute. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
This is so cringy. When did all the stuff in verses 1 to 8 happen?
Awesome,
When did the stuff in verses 1 to 8 happen? The time of Jesus.
So before we go into that, biblical dates and timelines.
Wants me to answer questions, refuses to do
No,
it himself.
let's just do a little recap. What did we read here? What was God unhappy with?
Yeah. Well, so verses 1 through 8 describes all of these enemies of Israel being like demolished and destroyed, and God being set up in his own house. And then a king comes to Jerusalem. Well, the why doesn't matter for this conversation.
The why does matter.
Liam, why do you think that I have to answer all your questions and you don't answer any of mine? That's not how this works.
We've just started.
So Liam, just to be clear,
that's the second. Third one is a win.
What you can claim the win all you want. I have to mute you because he ran away. Wow. Liam wanted me to answer his questions, but Liam didn't want to answer my questions because answering my questions would be detrimental to his position. So this is what we call unequal weights and measures. Liam is a coward. I think we all just saw that. So since Liam's gone and now he can't interrupt, he ran, yeah, which is a win for me. I'm gonna count that as a win for me. Yeah. So, anyways, Liam had to take the fifth. So one, it mentions that this is a king who comes riding unto you. Jesus was never a king in any real, demonstrable way. Two, it says that this king will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. Jesus never did that. It says that he shall command peace to the nations. There is no peace among the nations right now. And that his dominion shall be from sea to sea, from the rivers to the ends of the earth. You can't demonstrate that in any demonstrable way that Jesus has any sort of reign. Can't even demonstrate that he's alive. And then also verses 1 through 8 never happened. All right. Hopefully the next guest won't be a coward. Guess what's your you have a name on here, so what name should I call you by?
John.
John. Okay, John, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions. And then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Because Christianity is the right fucking religion.
Are you a troll? Are you cosplaying as a Christian right now? Is that what's happening? Or was that real?
I'm a hard right MAGA motherfucker.
I could tell with a really, really tiny dick, right? Which is why you have to put on the show.
Christian nationalists should be the top priority in this country.
There's no way you're real.
What the fuck?
I mean, you are giving off the tiny dick syndrome.
What are you talking about?
Of most like Christian men, but you know.
What do you mean, man? All right, I'll tell you why you should be Christian. All right.
There's no way you're
All
real.
right. What do you mean?
Like you're just a cartoon character.
What?
This guy makes me happy. I'm pagan. Zaddy, chill.
Whoa. All right, so I think you should be Christian because, yeah, I don't know. You should just be Christian. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not real. Thank you for trying to waste our time. Anyways, let's see. Why do atheists think dare is good and bad if everything is a result of fine tuning? What? First and foremost, I don't believe in fine tuning. Secondly, good and bad are value judgments. Good means beneficial towards a particular goal. Bad means detrimental towards a particular goal. And I have a goal, and there are things which are detrimental and beneficial towards that goal. That's why I could say there are bad things. If you're gonna troll, be funny, right? Like, be funny at least. Like, I don't like trolls who are even funny, but like, at least try to be funny for the audience's sake. Don't just be a weirdo. Someone said pedo alert. Why? Because he said he was MAGA. I mean, you know. MAGA are so stupid. That's the thing. I can't tell the difference between a troll and a legitimate Christian. But like, you know, that one was pretty obvious. But he was mad corny. Yeah. Isaiah 45 verse 7. Yeah, great verse that demonstrates that God's not omnibenevolent. Yeah. Anyways, Christians, come on up and let's have a conversation about why I should be a Christian, because like so far it's been like 3 really bad examples. I'm gonna think, no, he created evil. Yeah, which makes him evil. If you do evil, Lord Francois, if you do evil, you are evil, at least in part. And God does do evil in the Bible. If God is omnipresent, then why is he separated from hell? Right? That's also another thing, is the saying on the one hand that God is omnipresent, but also hell is where God is not. Like, pick a lane. God is a concept. It never says he is the dictator that controls. I'll agree, God is a concept, and that's all he is, because he's not real. GOP equals group of pedos. It's funny. You should be Christian because you get access to free wine. I mean, like a sip. And most Catholic churches don't even do it anymore. Also, that he can't dwell where sin is, but he is everywhere. Yeah, it's ridiculous. If you really want to be Christ-like, be Buddhist. Did the Buddha observe the law of Moses? Because Jesus did, and I don't think the Buddha did. Post isn't very compelling. Cigarette lighter, y'all Christians aren't very compelling. And I'm an atheist? Sure, bud. I'm not I don't know what you mean not compelling. I'm not selling something right now. I'm not trying to convince y'all of anything. I'm having the Christians trying to convince me of something. Is it biblical that hell is eternal? Yeah. Yeah, there are some passages that suggest that. Don't forget though that there isn't really one image of the afterlife in the Bible, that the Bible is like multifaceted and not univocal, and therefore different authors have different like perspectives on the afterlife. Why would I be an atheist and have no standard of which to live? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an atheist and I have a standard that I live by. Maybe that's just a you problem. God sometimes comes down to a visit. I have zero evidence of that. How about the Gnostic Gospels? Look into those. I mean, if I'm not going to believe the canonical Gospels, I'm sure as hell not going to read the fan fiction of the canonical Gospels. Is good and evil real if concepts don't exist? Who said concepts don't exist? Dipster. Jake does atheism. Say, hey Dalton. Hey, Jake does atheism. The Bible guy doesn't believe the Bible. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm called the Bible guy because I know the Bible better than you do. My guy said fan fiction. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Gnostic Gospels are fan fiction of already existing fan fiction, being the canonical Gospels. You missed the paneling. Atheists live by much feelings and preferences. Yeah, that's all you got too, Chiller. You have preferences too. Your preferences just happen to be whatever Daddy says, whatever Daddy God says. That's your preference. And also, all y'all have is feelings. Please dress up like Bible Man on Halloween for us. I already have a Halloween idea picked out. I have to get a green screen suit for it. Me can't write. There are 1,000 of God. Why would your God be the real one? Right? Precisely. Not even whatever Daddy says. Whatever it says that matches their feelings. You're right. Couldn't even spell atheist right, but want to talk about feelings. Let I forget how concepts of Christianity are plagiarized from religions that are older. That is true. That is true. Nothing new under the sun, as the preacher once said. Even my 11-year-old questions all religion. Your 11-year-old smarter than most adult Christians. But maybe a Christian can come up here prove us wrong. Come on, Christians, come on up and give us a good reason to believe that the Bible is true. Does the Old Testament admit there are other gods? Absolutely. While modern day Christianity teaches monotheism, that only one God exists and there are no other gods, the authors of the Old Testament had a different perspective. They thought that there were many gods that they admitted to. Psalm 82 is a primary example where Yahweh sits amongst the council of the gods and he takes judgment. And then he says to them, you are gods, not false gods, just you are gods. Then how can a belief without any imagination be a actual fact? What the fuck do you 2014? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. What do you like on your baked potato? I'm about to make one now. Butter, pepper, salt. I'm very plain Jane. Come on, believers, call in, you cowards. Yeah. I'm going to go as Mitch McConnell in hell for Halloween, but I'm not sure how to incorporate the flames and hell surrounding me. You could just have like like what you can do is just have like a suit that looks like you like cut off pieces of it and like burn the edges. That way it looks like you like have been in a fire. Maybe put little devil horns on your head. The Bible guy is obsessed with the Bible. It wouldn't surprise me if he wanks over his Bible every night. Well, obsessed with the Bible? I mean, it is my job to talk about the Bible. I don't know if you would call that obsessed. You guys have no idea how little I give the Bible any like thought when I'm not doing this. Although I am now considering writing a book, and I have picked a topic for me to write on. So Christians often make the claim that there are 300 prophecies that Jesus fulfilled, and there's actually an official list out there made by Christians. I have access to it. I was thinking a good idea for a book would just be go through each individual prophecy and debunk it. So, yeah. That's a Christ on trial or some bullshit like that. Call it that. We'll include smut. Maybe I'll put some little sexy doodles on the side. Is it too soon to have a bullet in the neck? No, I mean if you want to dress up like Charlie Kirk, that's a good costume. Just like a lot of like going on over here. We'll be making more dedicated YouTube videos on certain topics. Yep, we'll be doing that. Do you believe in spirits, evil? I believe that evil exists in the sense of like very malicious and behavior that results in the suffering of individuals. I don't believe in spirits though. By the way, every time I have a Christian talking about how, oh my God, why do you always talk about the Bible? Why do you always talk about Christianity? All that tells me is that I'm really doing a really good job debunking the Bible. And this is their attempt at getting me to shut up. All right. Cologne Aura, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
You might want to get a bit closer to the mic. You're a bit quiet. And then question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Why should I be a Christian?
It would make. I say it would make more sense than It'd make more sense than abiogenesis. There's more proof for that than abiogenesis. So
Incorrect.
based off of that, we do this.
Well, let's pretend like we have no evidence for abiogenesis. Why should I be a Christian? Not knowing something is not a good reason to be a Christian.
Well, if you're gonna say that there isn't enough evidence to convince you of a God, then why on earth would there be enough evidence to convince you of abiogenesis?
Because gods are supernatural. Abiogenesis is about things which are natural. I have evidence that natural things exist. I don't have evidence of supernatural things. So unless I have a reason to think that the supernatural exists, the only viable explanation for the origin of life is going to be a natural one. Like if there's a party where all the explanations for the origin of life get invited to, God doesn't get invited to the party because I don't even think the supernatural exists. So anyways, why should I be a Christian?
Yeah, like I said, it's just it's more statistically likely for a God to be real than there isn't.
Wait, where are you getting this math at? You know, 99% of statistics are pulled out of people's asses.
Fine. Just based off of everything that we know as humans, everything that we know has came into existence at a certain point in time. Nothing that we know of.
I disagree. I disagree.
So, enlighten me.
So first and foremost, I would say statistically as humans, we have zero data supporting the existence of the supernatural and an abundance of data supporting the evidence of nature. Secondly, I have zero evidence that anything could pop into existence from nothing. Therefore, the conclusion I have to go to is that, like, at least like the bare fundamental like building blocks of the universe have always existed in one form or another, never actually coming into existence.
Well, that's fine, but if you want to be able to say that your position is the more likely scenario,
It is.
well, then yeah, I just need you to. I would need you to be able to apply that.
Do we have evidence of nature?
What? That's not what I'm asking you for.
No, it is. It is more likely because I have evidence of nature. I don't have evidence of a supernature. Therefore, what's going to be more likely for the origin of life is going to be something natural.
You cannot tell me one time something living has ever came from something non-living. When has that ever happened?
Yeah, abiogenesis 3.5 billion years ago.
Nope.
You set yourself up for that answer. Because again, if you don't give me a reason to think the supernatural exists, then it's going to be natural. That's the only thing that's left.
But you're missing the point that it's never happened.
It has happened. It necessarily had to happen unless you can show the supernatural exists.
You can't even prove that abiogenesis is a real thing.
Wait, no, it's necessarily true. Because
How so?
Because if there's no supernatural, then the only origin for life has to be something natural.
No, or just nothing living can come from something non-living, or that you could just come to that conclusion.
Wait. Was there life at the beginning of the universe?
God created life.
Well, no. Was there? No. Don't give me the silly magic answer. Do we have any evidence that there was life at the beginning of the universe?
Life began when God created it.
Like, do you think there was life on Earth when the planet Earth didn't exist?
No.
All right, so there's necessarily a time when Earth life did not exist, and then there was a time when Earth life did exist. So there had to go a moment of Earth life not existing to Earth life existing. Now, whatever process that's going to be, the only viable explanation is going to be a natural process. Because again, you've yet to substantiate for us that the supernatural exists. Therefore, the only thing I got left is something natural. That's what makes it more likely.
But if you're failing to, like, for example, if I was to be able to tell you, okay, I believe I believe this is the process of events that happened or took place, right? If I was trying to convince you, I'd be able to point to other things and be like, look, it occurs here.
Are you going to be able to point me to a supernatural thing to demonstrate that the universe, life has a supernatural origin?
I mean, no, you just look at things like intelligent design. You look at.
I don't see intelligent design anywhere.
Philosophical arguments, a lot of philosophical arguments.
Wait. I don't see intelligent design, especially not in the human body. It's very unintelligent.
Well, anything made has a purpose. There's nothing made.
I don't think that's true either. It depends on what you mean by purpose. Like
your eye has a purpose, right?
I mean, it has a function.
It was designed for.
No, that's begging the question. I don't have any reason to think it's designed. If it naturally formed, then it wasn't designed.
Well, this is the conclusion. I feel like which is at least safe to say.
But I can't come to that conclusion if the supernatural doesn't exist.
Well, this is my point, though, right? Now, I would actually, if you can maybe explain why, I would love to maybe hear a reason why. But for some reason, people, either atheists or agnostic people, they just hate to admit that they have faith. The same way that
Well, that's gonna be a pivot. It's gonna be a pivot.
No, it's not, because that's all that I'm really trying to prove.
Well, no, I have evidence that nature exists. So that's not faith. I have evidence. Do you have evidence of the supernatural?
Evidence of supernatural. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of personal testimony. That's
no evidence, not personal testimony.
Right. Yeah, well, what do you consider evidence, right?
Yeah, something that's demonstrable, something that's independently verifiable, something that I don't just need to take your word on. Like, for example, if I make the claim that nature exists, you don't need to take my word on that. You can have a direct experience of it yourself, and it can independently verify what I'm saying. I can't do that with your claims.
How do you demonstrate Because right now you're asking me for something that you're not personally upholding for your own belief. So how do you prove a biogenesis theory?
Wait, maybe you're not listening. I've done that already 5 fucking times. So, like the origin. Wait. There's 2 options. Either the origin of life is natural, or it's supernatural. Now, I have evidence of nature existing. I don't have evidence of supernature, so supernatural is not even on the table as an explanation.
You don't have any.
You need
that's all. It's came from something non-living though.
Wait. But no. You already conceded that when the Earth didn't exist, life didn't exist. So there was a time when wait. Yes or no? Wait. Before the Earth existed, did life on Earth exist?
I said God created.
Wait.
Life.
Before, I don't care about the magical answer you want to give. Before life on Earth existed, before Earth existed, did life on Earth exist?
God created it.
No, I don't. Again, I don't care about the magical answer. Just yes or no.
I'm telling you the answer.
Wait. Just a simple yes or no. Before the Earth existed, did life on Earth exist?
Life has never came from non-life. No.
Well, you're not answering the question. You're being a coward.
I'm telling you, life has never.
So the only thing I want to hear, so that you're honest with me, is yes or no. Before the Earth existed, did life on Earth exist?
Life has never came from non-life.
That's not an answer. That's you're running. You're running from the answer.
How am I running?
Because I'm giving you the option. It's a yes or a no. You refuse to give the yes or no because you're being obstinate now. You're deflecting. So yes or no. Yes or no. I'm gonna ask you again. I'm gonna ask you again until you answer.
So you have no
yes
evidence?
or no. All I have is evidence of nature. Do you have any evidence of the supernature? I provided you evidence of nature. Have you provided evidence for this? You keep missing the point. You keep missing the point. Yes or no? Do we have evidence that nature exists?
If you don't have any reason
yes
to
or
believe
no, yes,
then you say that because there isn't any.
You're being a coward. Everyone. Every time you refuse to answer yes or no, everyone can see that you're a coward. So I'll ask you again, and this time I'm not going to let you get away from it.
I'm not letting you run away from it.
Cologne. Here's the fact. Here, I'll make it very, very clear for the audience, so that your cowardice can be shown in
you don't even know
without question. Your position is that God created the world. Now, the origin for life is either going to be Cologne Aura is making the claim that the origin of life is supernatural in origin, i.e., God. I am making the claim that the origin of life is natural in origin, abiogenesis. My position is we have evidence that nature exists, something that even Cologne Aura will agree with, that we have evidence of nature. Nice try trying to comment in the chat. Watch this. Muted. Anyways, so we have evidence that nature exists. So I do have evidence. And by the way, it's not proof. It's not math. This isn't math, by the way. We don't do proofs. We have
just one study.
Cologne, you're
show me one study.
Cologne,
that's all.
Cologne,
one.
I don't need to show you a study to prove that nature exists.
No, that's not what I'm asking for.
That's what.
Cologne,
Cologne. Can life come from a supernatural origin if the supernatural does not exist?
I'm happy everyone here saw you concede, my friend. Have a good day. You're scared.
Are you gonna run? Are you gonna run?
You already conceded.
Are you, no, I didn't concede. I didn't concede anything. You're about to run though. You're getting ready. You're lacing up the shoes. You're getting ready to run. The only one who's here is basically conceding is you by refusing to answer very simple questions. By the way, I've already answered your question several times. You are refusing because you're a coward.
All you said is words.
Yet, and those words have semantic meaning. Can the origin of life be God if we don't have evidence for the supernatural?
Show me it happened.
You want me to show you a study that nature exists? Because that's my claim. My only claim here is that nature exists. Do you agree or disagree with that claim?
You're very irrelevant to what I'm saying.
Well, no, it's not irrelevant. It's not. No. My only claim here is that nature exists. Do you agree or disagree with that claim?
That is not. I have no
Do
idea
you
why
agree?
you're
Do you
running to
agree
that.
or see? Watch, you're doing it again. This is the third time in this call that you
This is
refuse to
irrelevant.
answer a
I'm talking
straightforward.
about a.
You're refusing to answer a straightforward question
Are we talking?
because it's detrimental to your position. So, yes or no,
Are we talk-
do you agree or disagree with me that we have evidence of nature?
So, in other words, you have not one.
Clonora, I don't care what you think. Clonora, yes or no, do we have evidence of this of nature?
You all seen it here, my friend. It takes more faith to be an atheist.
I have evidence for my position. You don't. I've provided you evidence that nature exists. You've yet to provide evidence that the supernature exists. So pointing
I didn't
at
ask
me,
for that.
who has well, my only claim here is that the origin of life is going to be a natural process because all we have evidence for is nature. You can disprove me right now by providing evidence of the supernatural, in which case now the origin of life can have a supernatural explanation.
Oh man! So you just, as long as you admit there's no study that proves you, that tells or argues your point, that's all I ask for. As long as you said that,
The
I would
only
Seems
evidence
like
of the only I know you want to run away because you're a coward. You were such a coward.
No, as
Yes,
long as you concede, I will.
I haven't conceded anything. All right, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Well, that's a big claim. I'm curious if you
Whoa,
typically.
I haven't made a claim yet. I asked a question.
Sorry, no, I meant like that's a big topic. I'm curious if you would like to focus on any one particular aspect of this. Like maybe we could talk about some of the things you were talking about with nature. But
Are you also going to fight me as to whether or not nature exists?
no, no, I'm not. Nature exists, and I appreciated your example with the Pepsi bottle. That was pretty good evidence, I think.
Yeah, but just give me like a good reason why I should be a Christian.
Well, so Christian, as I would understand it, is not really is not necessarily a belief system that would be originally given to people that don't believe in God. So Christianity was born in a context where people already believed in deities and all of these sorts of things. And in that context, Christianity is a particular way of life, and it's following a particular person's understanding of Torah, which would be Jesus of Nazareth. So, like from that framework, I would say, honestly, you should be a Christian because the way of Christ is life-giving, and
Wait.
it's liberating for oppressed people.
Ooh, I don't know.
So
about that.
that's what I would say.
Life-giving and liberating for oppressed people. So you agree that Jesus taught observance of the Torah?
Oh yeah, yes, but define it in the correct way, because I often find people on here don't really understand much of like current scholarship on ancient Near Eastern law or what observance of Torah meant, or they sort of assume a very monolithic view of Judaism in the first century,
Well,
and so they'll say things like very often people are like,
you won't get that from me. I understand that Judaism isn't monolithic. There was lots of different sects of Judaism in the first century.
Yeah, sure.
Now, let's say I'm a girl who gets married to a guy, has sex with him, and I don't bleed the first time I have sex.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to me?
Oh yeah, this is actually a great question, because almost most of the retributive laws that you see in like the retributive based laws that you see in the Torah are like almost never recorded to actually happen in courts. And
Yeah,
this is because we've misunderstood the function of laws through like a 21st century lens. So I would agree with you that those laws are unjust, interpreted through a modern jurisprudence law, what we say law, because we read into it as it's modern jurisprudence, but it's not. So like,
wait,
a good book on this would be.
Did Jesus not like talk nastily about the Pharisees because they weren't stoning their kids?
Huh? Oh yeah, you can pull it up if you'd like, but It's very clear to most scholars that Jesus was not advocating for the Pharisees to have stoned their kids, but it's often a big talking point online. But
You abandon the commandment of God and hold to human tradition. You have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to keep your tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and mother, and whoever speaks evil of father and mother must surely die. But you say that if anyone tells father or mother whatever support you might have had for me is Corban, then you are no longer permitted to do anything for a father and mother, thus nullifying the word of God through your tradition. Jesus wasn't advocating for observance of the law.
He was telling them that they were being hypocritical with their understanding of the law, because they were, even though they were interpreting the law in that way, they weren't following it. He was stating what the law was, but he wasn't advocating for the actual outcome.
He wasn't
like the narrative. The narrative
he
very
wasn't,
clearly
he wasn't
point towards
advocating for observing the commandment.
Huh?
He wasn't.
I was saying he was saying that they were being hypocritical under their own terms of what the Torah would say.
And the hypocrisy was that they were setting aside the commandment of God for traditions of men.
Yeah.
And one of those commandments of God was, whoever speaks evil of father and mother must surely die.
Mm-hmm.
So the hypocrisy is that they're setting aside that commandment for a tradition.
Yeah. So yes, like that goes back into what I was saying, but I'll respond more directly to what you're bringing up here. Even if that was true, the narrative very clearly, and this is what scholars note, the narrative very clearly is not indicating that Jesus is advocating for them to have stoned the kids.
It sounds like
the narrative is very clearly. So, are you familiar with an reductio ad absurdum argument?
No, I'm not.
Like in philosophy?
Nope, I'm not a philosopher.
Okay, so that's okay. So reductio ad absurdums, what they do is they have a very particular function. It's you enter into someone else's own framework and you show how they are not following their own framework, and that is it leads to the conclusion that therefore they're incorrect.
Jesus's framework was not observance of the law of Moses.
No, it was in the way that I was trying to explain to you earlier, which is not through a modern lens of jurisprudence. But I'm telling you, that's why I said let's just take your view of it for now.
What would have been the Pharisees' position on whether or not you should stone your kids?
I mean, I can't directly say, but I would think that, as a lot of Judaism, like proponents in the day did, they did not interpret texts like modern law. So they did not interpret it in such that if it says X, you do X.
No, the Pharisees of the first century absolutely believed that if God were truly in charge, if there was like an Israelite monarchy and not being ruled by Roman governance, people should be stoned to death for not observing the Torah.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people did that, but I wasn't. I was making a claim about the function of law.
My question is, what did the Pharisees believe in regards to stoning children?
Well, I'm not sure. Like I said, that's why I said I don't know for sure.
What does the Talmud say?
Well, that's why I'm trying to explain to you about the function of law. Like you keep saying,
I know what you're trying. I know what you're trying to say, but I have a reason for what I'm asking you. What would have been the Pharisees' position on stoning people? Like, should we do it or not? What was the Pharisees' position?
Oh, well, they did believe in certain instances to stone. Yes, that's right.
So the teaching of the Pharisees was that we should do the parts of the commandments that say we should stone people, right?
No, not in all instances. I would not say that. Yeah, I would disagree.
In the instances in which the law of Moses calls for stoning people.
No, I would disagree with that.
Okay, do you have any evidence from Jewish literature that this is not the case?
Yes, actually, that's what I was talking to you about. It's because all known instances of court cases in the history of Judaism almost never record instances of actual capital punishment.
Well, that's because the reason why was because they had a lot of barriers that one had to jump through in order to like actually go through with it. But let's say you meet those requirements.
That's not the reason why, though.
That is the reason why. As an expert, as someone who used to practice Judaism, I know why it is that a court that would stone someone once every 70 years was considered a bloody court, because of the stringent requirements that one had to meet in order to stone someone, you had to meet a lot of different requirements, a lot of different,
and so
like
and
for
also
example,
and also
having enough
because
witnesses and having all and
Yeah.
a cross reference. But if you did meet the requirements, you would stone somebody according to Pharisaic law.
yes, but this just belies your very point, which is that in not every instance in which the Torah says if you do X you get stoned, did the Pharisees believe you should stone them?
But
Because
Pharisee,
as you say,
here maybe
other-
let me
other
make this more. Let me
requirements
make it
could
more
override it.
specific for you. Then, according to the Pharisees, if the requirements are met, should one be stoned to death? If all the procedure is met and all the
Yeah, I already conceded that to you. I already
Okay.
told you. I already
Okay.
said they believed in some
Okay.
instances stoning was okay.
Okay.
So I don't understand.
Now,
you're not letting me explain my point about law.
now, what was Jesus's position on whether or not you should do what the Pharisees say?
You shouldn't because they're hypocrites. That was Jesus' position. That's the consistent thing Jesus said.
You missed it. No,
is
you
he always
no,
points
no,
to
you missed
their
it.
hypocrisy.
You missed it. You missed it. No. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to the disciples, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore, do whatever they teach you and follow it, but do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. So the teaching of the Pharisees is, if the requirements are met, you should stone somebody.
Yeah, but that would go against your point. I'll
No,
actually
it goes for
we'll
my
just go
point.
we'll just go with what you just said, because I have yet to be able to explain what I mean by modern jurisprudence, but that's okay.
I don't care
So-
about that because we're
Well,
going back.
I recognize
going
you
off
don't
of,
care. That's
we're going
okay.
off of what. Not
I know.
how did.
That's why I haven't gotten to talk about it. 'cause you
Not
don't care.
how did
That's
the
fine.
ancient Israelites interpret the Torah. I'm aware of the scholarship on this, but the Pharisees of the first century had
Yeah.
a way of interpreting the Torah. Jesus
Yeah.
said yes and to their position, right?
Yeah, well, that's what. No. I said I tried to explain earlier what a reductio ad absurdum is, so that you can understand that this is also a common thing in the Jewish time. So
And what Jewish
one
time?
way, like for example, let's say you're talking to a Christian, right, and you want to show them that, right, that even on their own account, God is evil. What you might do is you might say, "Hey, Jesus is God for you, right?" Yes. Okay. Well, and Jesus says that you're supposed to love your enemies or do this, right? Oh, yes. Well, then how is it that God wiped out an entire Canaanite nation if you're supposed to love your enemies and Jesus is God? That is a reductio ad absurdum. You are not thereby saying, I believe Jesus is God,
Here,
and
let me-
I believe, therefore,
let me get my
these
notepad.
things that I'm using a reductio ad absurdum about.
Let me get my notepad
Similarly,
to help you with this.
if Jesus is saying that the Pharisaical interpretation of stoning by not honoring your parents, that they're not following that, he is
Well-
using a reductio
well,
ad absurdum.
Nope, because Jesus told you that you should do what the Pharisees say. So, here,
Yeah, you just completely
One,
didn't respond to any of
the-
my statements.
here,
But that's all right.
watch. Well, because what that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. My
Well,
God,
could you at least
'Cause
explain
you're
why?
making the
Would
claim
you
that
engage with
Jesus
it?
is just stepping into the shoes of the Pharisees and showing you that according to their standard, they're in the wrong. But Jesus said that you should follow the standard of the Pharisees.
Yeah, what?
Here,
So
watch.
you're
The
conceding. So you're
Pharisees-
conceding
no,
my point, and
no,
then
you're-
saying,
you're not-
but also
you're
a
not
second
under,
point.
you're not
That's fine.
You're not tracking. You're not.
No,
tracking.
I'm tracking
That's-
with what you're saying.
No, you're not.
If you would like me to explain, is
So-
that okay?
Here, I want you to just confirm or deny this point. The Pharisees
No, that's okay.
were
It's you're not. I'm not going to engage with your point just
stoning.
because you're not engaging with mine.
yes or no. The Pharisees were pro stoning.
Well, yeah, I get you're going to just keep saying yes or no, but if you'd like to engage, we can have like a mutual.
Well, no, okay,
conversation.
yeah, okay, yes or no. Did Jesus teach that you should observe whatever the Pharisees teach?
Dude. Are you not hearing me talk? I
Dude.
just told you. Let's have a mutual conversation.
And the part of this mutual conversation is you answer my question.
Is your
Unco-
question? Yeah,
my-
even though I was the one that's been trying to say something
Here,
first.
I don't know. At the top of the screen, what does it say?
What the heck? Huh?
What does it say at the top of the screen?
Why should I be a Christian?
Above that,
The Bible Guy Colin Show?
whose show is this?
Oh, you sound like a rich white owner. Like, is this your get up?
You, gross. Don't do that. So, yes
Really?
or
That's
yes
your
or
get
no, yes or no, because
Oh.
I can see that you're running because
Yeah, this is
not,
my
anyways.
this is my
Yes, this is my show. Watch. Actually, I have a sound for that.
This is my show.
That's a Christian, by the way.
That's the sort of method that was used to.
Anyways, I don't care. Yes or no? Did Jesus teach his followers to do what the Pharisees taught?
Would you like to have a mutual conversation or your way or the highway?
Here, it's my way or the highway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing that enslaved Africans.
I don't care about you trying to pivot this to like race. Not gonna work. So like I'll give you one more opportunity. If you don't answer, I'll just show you're a coward. And I'll just
That's okay. I don't.
Anyways, yes or no? Did Jesus teach that the Christians ought to follow the teachings of the Pharisees?
I'm fine leaving, but once we have a mutual conversation.
All right, that's fine. The answer, by the way, everyone, is that Jesus taught that you should follow the teachings of the Pharisees. The Pharisees were A-okay with stoning, and therefore Jesus was A-okay with stoning. That was embarrassing. All right. Earth. Earth, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get into the conversation. Yeah, it's too bad you couldn't dialogue with me, Rocket. Too bad you couldn't answer simple yes or no questions. Anyways, it looks like Earth is having a hard time loading in. Mutual conversation means let guests blather. Yeah, too bad he is bad faith. Yeah, I agree. This person is not loading in. We might have to move on to the next person, which is going to be K9. Let's see. Yeah, also, what a slimy thing for him to try to make me look like as if I'm just no different than than a slave owner. Crazy work. I would jump to that too if I had no position. All right. K9's going to load in now. K9, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
Question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to need you to speak up a little bit. You're a bit faint. All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy.
Let me take my headphones out.
That's way better, actually. Why should I be a Christian?
All right, you can hear me?
Yeah. Why should I be a Christian?
All right. Do you believe in objective morality?
No, I don't think it exists. I don't even think it exists in Christianity.
How so?
Because do you know what the word objective means?
Yeah, it means like it's like input, like it already is, right? Basically.
No. Objective means stance independent. Subjective means stance dependent. So as long as you have an agent who has a stance on a particular topic, that's going to be subjective. The only way it can be objective is if it's not coming from like a mind. So because the Christian morals, even if God does exist, comes from the mind of God, it's just subjective. It's God's subjective opinion, and you just acquiesce to it.
Wait. Okay, so could you just define objective morality? Like,
a moral system that is stance independent.
So that would mean that, like, something we are born with, right? Like we are.
No, you don't have to be born.
Like, no, I'm saying I believe that we are born with it, but.
Oh, that has nothing to do with whether or not it's subjective or objective.
All right, so basically, if objective morality isn't true, then in someone's eyes, rape is okay, right?
What do you mean by okay? Because I understand
like,
okay as
good.
being
it's good.
Good is a value judgment. Good is a value judgment in relation to a particular goal. So, for example, my goal and the goal of non-psychopath is that we should work towards the well-being and fairness of other individuals, in which case rape would be non-conducive towards the goal and therefore not be good. It's only good if you're a psychopath.
Exactly. And
are you a
psychopaths
psychopath?
No, I'm not. Are you?
No, my goal is fairness and well-being. Is your goal also fairness and well-being?
I would say so.
Then
I'm sorry,
wait, you would say wait, were you about to like roll back on that?
No, you could talk now.
All right. So like what it is with that, whatever our preference is, that bit's going to be subjective. Once you and I can come to an agreement on what the goal is, then we can start making objective statements about what isn't conducive towards that goal.
But so you're saying rape isn't always bad as long as in your head it's good?
Oh no, I would say it's always bad because bad means detrimental towards the goal, and the goal is fairness and well-being. Therefore, rape will always be bad.
So yes, rape is always bad. Murder
will always be bad because it's detrimental towards the goal of fairness and well-being.
Exactly. So how is objective morality not a thing?
Well, because what makes something, because it's based on like fairness and well-being. That's my stance. As long as the moral position is stance dependent, it is subjective. The only way it can be
so you're saying if somebody doesn't take your stance on that, then in their world,
a psychopath could have a different stance than me.
So luckily, rape can be good in somebody's eyes.
Luckily, us sane people seem to outnumber the psychopath. Luckily for us.
But even the psychopaths realize what they're doing is wrong, but they do it because they feel good about it. They don't do it because they think it's good.
They think it's wrong in relation to like they don't think society is okay with it. But there are some people
they know what they're doing.
But no. If the goal of the psychopath is to inflict as much harm as possible, then what is good is going to be what's. Yeah, they can get enjoyment from it too.
Yes, getting enjoyment from it doesn't make it good.
So an action is, again, you seem to be forgetting what the word good and bad mean. Good and bad are value judgments. Good simply means beneficial towards a goal. Bad means
I would say
detrimental towards a goal. If you once you have a goal set in mind, then you can make value judgments about whether or not an action is good or bad, or detrimental or beneficial towards that goal.
Yeah, but I feel like you're explaining it from obviously your belief with there being no objective morality.
That's just what the words mean. The only way you can have objective morality is if you have a moral system that doesn't come from a mind. Do you have a moral system that doesn't come from a mind?
What do you mean by that?
Which one of those words did you not understand?
Like, what do you mean by a moral system that moral system?
Do you know? Okay, do you know what a moral system is?
I understand the words you're saying.
Okay, so the only way you can have an objective moral system is if you have a moral system that does not come from a mind. Does your moral system come from a mind?
It comes from God.
God has a mind, right? God's a mind?
No.
Wait, you don't agree with the Bible? Who can know the mind?
Does the Bible say God's a mind?
It says, "Who can know the mind of the Lord?" God has a mind.
That doesn't say he is a mind. It says he has a mind.
Then I'm not a mind. I also have a mind.
Yeah.
What we mean subjective. As long as does God have a stance? And that stance is the law, the moral code.
God's stance is what should be. It's not a stance. It's what should be.
Well, no. Wait, is something good because God declares it to be good?
Well,
or does God declare it because it's good?
No. I'm not saying it's good because God declared it, because God isn't evil. But
no, that's begging the question. Now, is something good because God says it's good? Or does God command something because it's good?
God commands because it's good. God allows.
Where is he getting where is he getting the commandment from? If it's not coming from him, where is it coming from?
The commandment is coming from him.
Okay, then it's just good because he says it's good.
No. You're literally like, you're trying to like trap me in. That's not how.
Well, it's only what I'm saying. It's only a trap if your position is faulty.
All right, so can I try to explain it?
Sure.
So things aren't good. I wouldn't say I believe things are good only because God said they are. I would say I believe things that God said are good because
Wait,
I see that they are good.
If God told you to kill a baby, would it be good?
The Bible talks against abortion.
No, I didn't ask about abortion. If God told you to kill a baby, like not a fetus in the womb, like a baby that's suckling on its mother's tit. If God told you to kill that baby, would it be good or bad?
God would never ever tell me to kill an innocent baby.
Has there ever been a time when God's told someone to kill an innocent baby?
There has been. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when he wanted to wipe out the Amorites. Yes, I know what you're talking
Amalekites. Was it good when God called the Israelites to kill those Amalekite babies?
So, can I explain that?
Yes, explain how it would be good to kill those babies.
So I wouldn't say it's good to kill the babies per se, right? Because God teaches us not to value our flesh at all. He tells us to fulfill our spirit and to crucify our flesh. Let me talk, please. I'm going to build up to a point. I'm gonna build up to a point. I'm gonna build up to a point.
Are you going to get to the point?
I'm not saying that at all.
Are you going to get to the point where you say it wasn't bad because the babies went to heaven?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, I want you to explain to me. So I want you to explain to us how it would be good.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. That is a part of my point because,
of course,
because we shouldn't value our flesh at all. Ooh. So God knows that He's passing judgment on somebody's flesh, not their spirit.
Wait. So if God told you to kill a baby, would you do it?
But He told them to do that because they had generations of
since we know that since we know that
they had generations to redeem themselves, and they never
went
to God. And
wait. What wrong did the baby do?
No, it's the generation, the Amalekites. It's not about the baby.
So the babies didn't do anything and they got killed.
The baby God killed the baby because He knew what they would have grown into.
Whoa. First and foremost, you don't.
Because the Amalekites were a sinful generation.
That's bullshit. The Israelites could the Israelites have adopted the Amalekite babies?
But that's not.
Could they?
That wasn't the commandment of God.
Wait. I know it's not the commandment of God, but could the Israelites have adopted the baby? Could God have said to the Israelites, yeah, you can kill all the men and the women and even the children, but the babies, adopt them?
So back in the Exodus, when they escaped Egypt, the Amalekites actually launched an attack on the weakest Israelites.
I know, that was 400 years before the Amalekites were killed. So the question was, which has nothing to do with what happened 400 years ago.
No. So
could yes or no, could God have told the Israelites to adopt those babies?
God can do anything. Yes, He could have, obviously.
So why is it better to have the babies killed or to have the babies adopted?
Was the Amalekites' attack on the weakest Israelites just?
I didn't ask about that. That's a pivot
on their babies. Wait.
Should we repay evil with evil?
The Old Testament says eye for an eye.
Well, that's in regards to a court of law. If so, and it's not literal too, because if you read that passage, it's about financial compensation. But are you saying that if someone does something evil to you, like if someone murders my baby, I should murder them?
Jesus said the Old Testament says eye for an eye, but
Jesus is correcting a misunderstanding of that verse in the Old Testament. Are you saying that God's position is that if someone murders your baby, you should be able to murder their baby? We're not going to pivot.
No. Because God gave them, like you just said, God gave them 400 years to turn to them. To turn to Him. Repent.
But can babies repent?
The whole generation.
Can babies repent?
Babies can't repent because the Bible talks about a short window where babies have no idea from right or wrong.
So to be clear, the babies were innocent.
Yes, they were.
And they were killed.
And that's why they're going to heaven.
Wait.
They were innocent as babies, but
wait. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the sticks thing. Okay. Would it be good for me to, like, kill?
Wait.
Would it be good for me? Wait. Do you agree that an action that is like has like maximally good outcome should be performed?
So are you saying that if it's for the greater good,
Yeah,
should it
yeah.
be done?
Should if I have the option of doing the thing that results in the maximally good outcome, or not doing the thing that results in a maximally good outcome, which one should I do?
You should do the thing that results in the best outcome.
Should I
That's
do
what
the
God does.
Should I do the thing that results in the most amount of people going to heaven, or fewer people going to heaven?
So, like you just said, God gave them 400 years.
Wait, no. I don't. We're not talking
Before
about.
he wiped them out.
We're not talking about the Amalekites anymore.
To repent
We're not talking
and
about
go to heaven.
We're not talking about the Amalekites anymore. Listen up. Listen closely. Should I, the
Why
Bible
not?
guy, do the thing that results in the most amount of people going to heaven, or the fewest amount of people going to heaven?
Well, the most.
All right. Should I kill all the babies in the world?
You're okay. You're just not listening to the points then.
Wait. Should I? Would me killing all the babies result in more people going to heaven?
What? No.
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 So the babies wouldn't go to heaven.
Would you killing all the babies result in more people going to heaven?
Yeah, all those babies. Would all those babies go to heaven?
So, yes, all those babies would go to heaven, but
If
other
those-
people living in the world, that
Wait.
wouldn't make other people go to heaven.
But
No,
yeah,
it wouldn't.
well, yeah, but no, we're not talking about all people going to heaven, just the maximum amount of people going to heaven. Like if those
Yeah, so
babies
if you
grow,
killed
if
all
those,
those babies-
yeah, if those babies grow up, is there a possibility that they might like become atheists and therefore not go to heaven?
Yes.
So killing them would result in more people going to heaven
Can you explain how?
because the babies never have the opportunity to turn away from God and therefore never have the opportunity to go to hell. They'd all go to heaven.
That okay, but you understand that God gives us the gift of life, so that and free will, so that we make
brother, you
the
shouldn't
choice.
care about the flesh. You shouldn't care about the flesh.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't
but-
care about my flesh.
Yeah, I me neither. So I should kill all the babies so that the maximum amount of people that can go to heaven will go to heaven, right?
No, because that's not your. So I said you shouldn't care about the flesh only to prove that God
Wait,
understands that He's not passing judgment on their soul, on their spirit.
Yeah, you said that we should do the thing that results in the most amount of people going to heaven and not the thing that will result in fewer people going
So
to
you're
heaven.
saying that God should kill everybody at birth?
No, me, I'm going to do it. I'll kill all the babies. All of them.
Well, you're a psychopath then.
Well, no, I mean, in your worldview, I'm like going by your worldview. That
that's not my worldview at all, then.
babies go to heaven. You said we should do the thing that results in the most amount of people going to heaven
So
over
yes,
the one that results in fewer people going to heaven.
yes. So you want God to take away our free will and to take
No,
away our gift
wait,
of life
whose free will is being taken away by me killing all the babies?
by you killing all the babies?
Yeah, whose free will is being obstructed?
What are you trying to say? That it's good if you kill all the babies because they're all going to go to heaven?
Yeah, you said that if we have the option between these two things, one, the thing that results in the most amount of people going to heaven versus thing that results in fewer people going to heaven, you said the better thing to do would be the one that results in the most amount of people going to heaven. And if I kill all the babies, there's no opportunity for them to sin later in life and go to hell.
Yes, but you're doing it out of evil intent and not.
Well, no,
with
I'm
the
doing
intent.
it. No, it's good intent. I want all
no,
these
it's
people.
not.
I want more
No.
people to go to heaven. Wait, is it
No,
is it
because
is
you're
it
just
is it
massacring
good
humans.
or evil to want more people to go to heaven?
But you're not doing it for that, and nobody.
No, that would be the
nobody's
reason.
doing it.
No, in this scenario, this is the reason I'm doing it.
Well, that you're creating an impossible scenario. How can I answer this? I don't understand.
It's not. Well, it's only impossible if it would be bad for your.
Well,
position.
because so you're asking me if you kill all the babies, is that good? Because you're doing it with the intent of sending
Yep.
them all to heaven.
Yeah, if the goal is the most amount of people going to heaven, and good just simply means beneficial towards a particular goal, right? If my goal is to send as many people to heaven as possible, then the good thing to do would be to kill all the babies.
But that's obviously not what God has in plan for us.
And so God doesn't want the most amount of people going to heaven.
God does, but we also have free will. That's why we have
What?
the choice of choosing God or not.
Whose free will is being stripped from them if I kill all the babies?
What? What? You're stripping their free will of life. What do you?
Free will of life. One doesn't. That's not against free will.
You're stripping their right to life.
The right to life is not the same thing as free will.
Yes, I know. I said I meant to say right to life.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
So you're still stripping something away from them that God gifted to them. So it's still something evil.
I stripped away the Amalekite babies' right to life when God commanded me to kill them.
But he also did it to wipe out the entire generation so that they were.
Yeah, and I'm doing it to wipe out this entire generation of all the people.
No, you're not, though.
You've yet to show me a good reason why I shouldn't kill all the babies.
All right, you're making stupid points, and I understand.
It's not stupid. It's not
God
stupid.
Bless.
It's showing the absurdity of your worldview. Oh. Man alive.
Hey, sorry, I was tapping wildly.
Oh, you're good. Crazy. Yeah, just to be clear, everyone, as an atheist, I would never fucking do that because I don't believe in heaven, and I would never fucking kill babies even if I could send them to heaven. But you know, that was an actual reductio. Unlike what the last guest thought. Crazy. He was actually stun locked. Oh, crazy. Okay. We're gonna do maybe we'll do a restart. We'll see if we don't get any guests in the next 10 minutes. We'll do a restart. That material world is the distortion of the will. What? Adayatzis will have their own capital punishment provided by the sword of justice of God. What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? I guess he got sick of doing genocide apologetics. I guess so. They're always for genocide until they realize, oh shit, I might have to do one. He was laughing his way out of the discomfort. Man would hate a philosophy class. I told a Jesus joke today. I nailed it. Oh. Dalton, are you interested in working with other atheist TikTokers like myself? Just curious. I do work with other atheist TikTokers all the time. I just don't have a lot of time. I'm booked up on people that I can work with right now. Funny how that rapists have free will argument falls apart when viewed like that. Yeah. No matter what, someone's free will. In a rape situation, someone's free will is going to be taken away. The question is, whose free will does God care about more? The rapist or the rape victim? Why didn't the Egyptians care about the Exodus myth? They didn't counter it at all. I don't see why they would. I mean, it's like a different people from another nation. They got their own problems. Ancient people don't engage in counter apologetics the way that we do now. This is a new level of depravity. Wait, to be clear, not Jay, I'm not in favor of killing all the babies. The depravity was found in the thinking of the last guest. If you think that I'm depraved for wanting to kill all the babies, you completely miss the point of the conversation. 100%. Things from making more room in heaven we don't need anyway. Aw, Paula. Aw. You think I'd like to go to heaven where someone like you's there? Aw. You know, all the cool people are going to be in hell. It's actually insane. Are Mormons Christians? The way that we define Christians on this channel, yes. A Christian simply being someone who believes that Jesus is the Messiah and the Son of God. Mormons do think Jesus is the Messiah and the Son of God. Arwen says, who wants to go to heaven when all the lames will be there? Facts. The rest of us are going to be hanging out in God's sex dungeon, aka hell. Imagine wanting to know free will or conscious for eternity. Imagine wanting to be conscious for eternity. Ew. Yeah. Believe dust created grass. What? Who believes that? Not me. All right. Surinamis. Surinamis, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I go by she, her.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I would say in an aesthetic sense, yeah.
Aesthetic sense? Like, do you actually believe that Christianity is true?
So, like, I'm an atheist, but the aesthetic of Christianity is something that I perform on a day-to-day basis. It's something that I live by.
Well, we are only talking to Christians. So
but I'm aesthetically Christian. So
but you're not really Christian. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Like,
I don't give a shit about ascetic Christians.
Oh,
Hey,
you,
Josh.
hey, you got rid of that person, but that person is a troll.
Oh.
I was just coming to warn you.
Oh yeah, well,
You did the right thing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I don't want to fuck. Even if she wasn't a troll, I wouldn't want to fucking talk to her. I don't give a shit about people who are aesthetically Christian.
Yeah. Also, like, transphobe, but trans, and I don't know, like, just trolls on everything. So, fuck that.
Well, oh yeah,
Anyways.
fuck that person. Watch this. Block. Got him.
All right. See you later.
See you, bud. Ascetic Christians wears a diamond cross. That's funny. Oh man. All right, I guess we'll do a restart. And hopefully we'll get like an actual Christian in here who actually wants to defend. Wait, Paula says, my pastor, well, dang, a lot of the homies are here. Yeah, because this is the place to be, Arwen. My pastor is being wrong right now about his awful life and the values you preach. Let me read that again. My pastor is being wrong right now about this awful lie. What the hell is it? What does it mean to be wrong? Like, I know what it means to wrong. Like wrong? Like someone called him? I don't. Awful life and the values you preach. Oh, like you're calling your pastor? Well, fine. Call your pastor. I'll smoke his ass on the Bible too. I love that. I'd love to talk to someone who's like 5% more competent in the Bible. He wants to join? I'd love for him to join. Is she telling on you? Oh, Pastor, there was an atheist on TikTok who was making me uncomfortable. Pastors are notorious comically bad debaters. Yeah. You go full out about yeah, me too. There was a pastor in Thinker's Line, and they were educating him on the Bible. Yeah, of course they were. Like, pastors are like only like 5% more educated on the Bible than just lay Christians are. Dalton, you've been a very naughty boy. No sermon for you. A pastor is no different than a comic book expert. I would actually say that comic book experts have more knowledge on their comic books than pastors have on the Bible. Don't mock my pastor. He is a great man and a good childminder. What the fuck is a childminder? Are you saying that your pastor is diddling kids on the side? I could cook a pastor, and I don't even have half as much as Tom. That is true. Or when you could cook a pastor, I'd love to see that. Daddy pastor, please come save me from this atheist life. You guys are killing me. Pastors have like a handful of all the same talking points and apologetics. That is true. Comic book experts are vastly more ethical as well. That is true. I don't think there are many requirements to debate pastor. Depends on which church you belong to. Like, Equality cooked a pastor a couple weeks ago. It was fantastic. Well, Paula, I'm about to do a restart. You let your pastor know that he is welcome to come up here and give me a good reason why I should become a Christian. It is not my daddy. Why do you think you are? Who do you? My pastor is not my. Here, let me read this.
My pastor is not my daddy. Who do you think you are? You must say 10 decades of the rosary.
Okay, there's no way this person isn't a fucking troll. Now, Okay. I'm going to restart. See you guys in a second. That is so fucking funny. All right. Oh. Ugh. I hate drinking Pepsi. It makes me so like burpy. Childminder is UK term for babysitter. Oh, well, if a pastor is a babysitter, that's probably also that other thing I said. I still can't believe she said pastor and childminder in one sentence. Yeah, that shit's funny. Everyone, make sure that you're sending in your super chats. Remember that this live is made possible by viewers like you. Pastor's the childminder. Childminder is I mean, a childminder, I guess, makes more sense than babysitter, because most of the time you're not taking care of babies and you're never sitting on them. All right, I want to talk to Mark now. Mark, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
Him.
And question number 3: are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. I'm the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Yeah, because atheist metaphysics make no sense.
I don't even know what that means.
Atheist metaphysics
Yeah, what doesn't
make
make sense?
no sense.
What doesn't
Yeah,
make
so like for example, your account for logic, like what logic is.
A description, a process of thinking.
No, that's a mistake. Your a utility is not utility is not a thing. Utility is a property of a thing.
Well, in that case, logic doesn't have ontology. I don't know what to
Oh, so logic has no semantic properties.
Semantic properties, like semantic meaning words having meaning.
No. So if logic has no ontological existence,
Here. I'll make this very easy for you. Talk like a normal person if you're going to talk to me. I'm the Bible guy, not the philosophy guy.
Sure. You just said logic has no ontic existence. That's what you just said.
Ontological.
Yeah. That would be the correct grammatical phrasing of it, but that doesn't matter.
Logic is just the process of reasoning in the brain, as far as I can tell.
So it's a particular.
Particular what?
Like it's an instance of a thing.
Yeah, it's an instance of a brain brain state.
So logic is not metaphysically necessary.
Metaphysically necessary for what?
Like logic does not obtain in all logically possible worlds.
I don't know what any of this means.
Logic is not the case outside of a particular mental operation.
Do you talk to people like this on the regular, or is it only in these conversations?
Let me put it simply. If logic is just something that occurs in some guy's brain, and some guy's brain is contingent, meaning it could fail to exist, then there is a possible state of affairs where logic fails to exist.
Where the process of doing logic fails to exist? Yeah. Logic as a process could fail to exist. No, if there's no brains around, no one's doing logic.
Sure. So if that's the case, does that also apply to
what he's not saying though is that contradictions can exist. We're just describing excuse me, principles of the universe when we're talking about the concept of logic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's not my question. What I'm asking is, right, if you hold logic to be this physical particular, like specifically a mental operation in some contingent subject, right, like a human, then no inference rule is necessary, right? Because
I don't know what inference rule means.
An inference rule is like a specific kind of logical reasoning, like modus ponens.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on. Anyways, yeah, go ahead and give your argument for God's existence, I guess.
So the argument's going to be atheism has no coherent ontology for logic. So by definition, there is going to be a true dichotomy.
I've already described that logic is just the process of reasoning.
And that's a category mistake because
It's not-
utility
wait,
is a property of an
it's-
object, not the
It's not
object
it's
itself.
it's no. If you, it's an object in the sense that my brain state is an object, like the firing of neurons is an object.
Which is a particular, thus not metaphysically necessary, which means that your inference rules are not metaphysically inference rules are not metaphysically necessary. Thus
no one
argument you give
dude,
is logically
I
derivable.
I do have a really important question for you, Phil, bro. What's the point of talking to people if they can't understand what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm gonna explain.
Like, isn't
very
the purpose
simply.
of communicate?
I'm going
like,
to.
like if you're wanting, like, are you? I here's
You're
another
wasting my time on the clock, bro.
Yeah, so like, I do wonder if people like you are like, if you're trying to turn
Holy
us
yeah.
more, are you trying to turn us more atheist? Is that the
Holy
goal?
app. Holy app. Anyway,
anyways,
so
are you trying to
when
turn
you-
us? Are you trying to turn us more into atheists?
yeah, I'm showing you why your worldview is incoherent. It makes no
Wait,
sense.
you're trying to make me more of an atheist.
No. I'm showing you why you as an atheist makes no sense. Like being an atheist makes no sense.
All I've seen in this conversation so far is that
Holy
you
cope.
think
Copium.
you think very very.
Copium.
Yes, I know you love to use like special like buzzwords to make yourself seem cool or whatever.
Yeah,
No one
stop
cares.
wasting my time, bro. Stop wasting my time so I can get to the
The only
argument.
one, every
You're
time you
running
use
away,
every,
host.
every
You're
time you use
running
a
away.
phrase that no one knows, you're wasting your own time. How just about you just speak in plain language, plain English?
If logic is just something that my brain does, then logic.
Actually, you know what? I'll take away the timer because I've got someone here that would love to talk to you. Sticks, I'll let you go ahead and handle this.
I don't know.
Hey, Mark, what's the argument that you wanted to render?
Yeah, so as an atheist, basically, I'm going to run this argument. It's an argument for the ontology of logic. My argument goes like this: for any atheistic account for logic that doesn't posit some being like a deity, you're restricted to four coherent ontologies: nominalism, conceptualism, physicalism, or brutalism. But each of these reduce logic to some kind of particular. And if logic is reduced to a particular, then the inference rules that are logic, these are also reduced to particulars. And if inference rules are reduced to particulars and are thus not metaphysically necessary, then no conclusion derived from a set of premises necessarily follows. Thus, no particular conclusion is necessarily derivable from any set of premises.
Okay, so first of all, was that supposed to be a formal argument?
No, that's a summary of my formal argument. Would you like
Okay,
the
what would be
entire
the
premises?
yeah? Give me
Would
the
you like
render
the
the
entire
formal.
set of premises because there's like over 50 of them.
You're going to be a 50 premise argument?
Yes.
So
is there,
I'd rather
is there
want the
no way
summary
for
of
you to
the
do
argument, or
it
do you
in a
want the
more?
whole argument?
Is there no way for you to do it in a more succinct way?
I
So that
just
we don't.
gave you
So
the
that we
word. I
all
just
do.
gave you
So that
the
way we don't
succinct
all
argument.
kill ourselves.
Yeah, I
That's
just
fine.
gave
I'll
you
just
the
I'll just
succinct
I'll just
argument.
kind of I'll just ask some questions about your views. So, are you saying that God grounds logic?
Yeah, he's the only possible ground of logic
Okay.
that doesn't reduce
Yeah.
it to a particular.
Sure. So when you say grounding in a metaphysical grounding relation, what do you take that to be?
I take it to be that God is the reason why logic is the case.
Sure. So logic obtains in virtue of God.
Yes.
Do you agree that logic as a system of valid inference is based on the law of identity?
Logic as a system. Wait, when you say logic as a system,
Yep.
is based on the law of identity.
Well,
Are you
logic
saying
is
that-
a system of valid inference. Does
correct.
Right. So does the system of valid inference that is logic or classical logic,
Mhm.
is it reliant on the law of identity to operate?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say that God grounds logic, you're also saying that God grounds the law of identity?
Yes.
Okay. The problem in saying that is that you've already presupposed identity. Because when we talk about a metaphysical grounding relation, what we're saying is that A obtains in virtue of B, right?
Mhm.
Or vice versa. But the problem in saying that God grounds logic and God grounds identity is that identity and distinction and asymmetry between these two things already has to exist.
Yeah, but that's not a problem for me as a holist because I believe the attempt to argue at all necessarily presupposes logic.
Right, but that's just going to be question begging. But just lock in and answer the
No,
question.
but
right?
it would be question begging on your view if you take that to be the case as well. So
Wait.
that's not
So
a
just to be
problem for
clear,
either view.
just to be clear, can you just recapitulate what I just stated?
Yeah, so if I need to presuppose like the law of identity to argue, you're saying it's begging the question.
No, it's not what I said at all. What I'm saying is that when you're talking about a metaphysical grounding relation, you're talking about how God, let's just represent God as X, grounds the law of identity, which is represented as Y. But notice what we've done there. We've already presupposed the law of identity in order to describe this grounding relation, which is to
Yeah,
say
what's
that
the problem there?
the identity that obtains in virtue of God is what is necessary to even speak about God grounding this thing that you say.
Yeah, what's the problem there?
obtains.
Since this is unavoidable for any system.
Well, if it's unavoidable for any system, then why would I grant that God is the necessary precondition to ground this thing?
Because your other like reasons for why logic is the case are incoherent.
Wait, you're rendering a deductive argument. Can you show that it is the case that no other worldview can ground logic?
Yeah, so either you take it to be the case logic is one of the four particulars as an atheist, right? So you're an atheist, so I'm dealing with atheism. So if you're an atheist, you're metaphysically restricted to nominalism, conceptualism, brutalism, or physicalism. Those are the exhaustive categories you could place.
Wait,
logic
with respect
in
to
as an
what?
atheist.
Universals?
Oh yes,
With
$20
respect to
to my
logic as-
$20 to my
with
Cash
respect
App,
to
and I
logic
will
as a category.
$20 to my Cash App, and I will drop the guest. Yeah.
When you're talking about nominalism and particularism and conceptualism, these sorts of things, are you asking about like with?
I'm saying
respect to
either
universals?
I'm saying logic as such is either a linguistic token, a physical token, a conceptual token in our minds, or a brute token.
Right, and given that logic, I just take it to be the case that it supervenes on reality, that it's an abstraction
so it's a
of
supervening
reality.
particular?
It supervenes on reality. It's an abstraction of reality. What's going to be the issue with that?
Because it's still a particular.
Wait, and by particular, what account of particularism do you mean? Like, are you talking about particulars and universals?
It would be only supervening on this reality and not other possible realities.
Wait, that doesn't follow at all?
Yes, it
talking
does,
about?
because if it supervenes on this reality, you're saying it's an overarching feature of this reality.
Well, so when we talk about like fundamental axioms of logical inference, right? All we're saying is that logic, this system where like it's, at base reality, it's describing an abstraction of things like like the tautology A equals A, right? Do you think that there's some possible world in which A does not equal A?
And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in order for you to say that logic is supervening on this reality, you're still reducing logic to a particular feature of this world.
What do you mean by particular?
Hold on.
So, hold on. Look,
Let me-
that's just
dude,
not
stop.
true.
Stop.
What
Stop.
do you mean by no?
If
you don't.
take,
What,
if
no.
You don't, yeah.
Holy yap! Stop interrupting me.
No.
If you take
Hey, you don't
Oh
run
my
this
God.
live,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Stop
Yeah,
interrupting
you're
me,
no,
please.
no. You're gonna answer Six's question. What do you mean by particular?
It's an instance of it's just some instance like a token.
Okay, and by instance, you're saying that the like A equals A is an instance that is supervening on this particular reality?
By your admission, right? That logic is some supervening, like let's take it to be
Abstraction.
structural constraint of reasoning of this world, right?
It's an abstraction.
It's sure an abstraction of this world, right?
Uh-huh.
If it's an abstraction of this world, then you cannot say that A equals A is the case in not our world. Dummy.
Well, this is why I asked you the question. Do you take it to be the
Dude,
case that it's
hold-
possible for
hold-
A to not equal A?
Hold on, Sticks.
No, there is
hey,
no such-
You're,
there is
you're
no
not
possible
gonna
state
you're
of
not
affairs.
gonna come up here and insult panelists and act like an ass. We already don't like Philbros like you. Coming up here and acting like an ass is the fastest way to get dropped.
This is what I'm talking about. They don't want us to be Christians. No one acts like this with the intention of actually convincing anyone.
Yeah, okay, host.
Yeah,
Co-parter.
okay. Yeah, okay, panelist.
Do you think the
So
rhetoric
anyway,
is helping
if you take logic to be a supervening structure like on this reality, then you've just lost counterfactual modal predication. So
Wait,
like,
counterfactual modal predication. So what you're saying is that in some possible world, if X, then Y. How is it the case that if I say that's the case, that like counterfactual predication can exist, that nominalism or like some sort of kind of view on universals and particulars loses that ability? Go ahead and explicate that.
Because you've reduced logic to a particular feature of this world, and by definition, the other world is not our world. So then the inference rules you're invoking in this world don't follow in that world.
Wait, inference rules, when we're talking about possible world semantics, what we're doing is we're using accessibility relations, right? So we're saying that something is logically possible or logically necessary given the accessibility relation from this world, right? The actual world. Now, given the fact that A equals A is a tautology, we can't say that in some possible world it's not the case that A equals A. It's just going to be true in all possible worlds.
That's assuming that the structure of those worlds is the same as our world. So you just beg the question.
Wait, the structure of those worlds. So by
logic,
structure,
hold on,
hold
dude,
on.
listen to what you just said.
Hold on.
Logic
Do you
is
mean-
a supervening structure on this.
Okay, don't interrupt, Mark. You're on a short fucking leash right now.
Yeah, it's getting annoying. I
Right.
I'm giving you fucking 30 minutes. I'm really tempted to just cut it off and just throw you out. You will act like a civilized human being,
Okay, bro.
or I will get rid of you, and
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
consider it a concession.
Sure. So logic is a supervening structure on this world.
No, I don't know
If
what you
you're
mean by
talking
structure.
about
Hold
a
on.
world
Wait,
that is
you're
not
smuggling that
numerically identical
structure
to our
thing in.
world,
What do you
you
mean
are
by
not
structure?
justified in saying
Hold on,
that A
hold
equals
on.
A is true.
Stop reifying logic. What do you mean by structure?
You said logic is something that supervenes on this world, right?
Something, yeah. So I don't take it to be like, I don't know what you mean by structure, but I'd like you to explicate that. It's a system. It's a system of valid inference, right? It's built on like
He left. He left. Right in time, because Fern sent a super chat, says I'll pay 10 with the $10, saying I'll pay 10 and I'll pay the half the cost if someone else pays 10 so we can kick. Well, now you don't have to. Now they're gone. God damn, like talk about not being the most unfuckable individual on the planet. My God, I really wasn't listening to any of that.
It was a transcendental argument, but somehow he was able to break it up into 50 premises.
Yeah, as soon as he
That
said
was
50
impressive.
as soon as he said 50 premises, I pieced the fuck out. Christians, here's some what's the wrong word for? Advice for you. If your goal is to convince people that Christianity is true and that they should be Christians, one, if you're going to use philosophy, you need to be able to explain these concepts on a very base level that a non-philosophy person like myself can understand. I'm not going to understand anything you're saying, and I'm not going to come to the conclusion that Christianity is true because I'm not going to understand what the fuck you just said to me.
I think he was trying to say logic is universal for some way, and that atheists can't, like their worldview only accounts for particular objects or material objects, which is like that's not an atheist position. And then particular objects can't like produce these universal laws. Therefore, atheism cannot account for logic, which is just like entirely false.
Byrne says he feels like they feel like they got a discount. He asked ChatGPT to write the most dense philosophical script. Yeah. Listen, if you can't explain it simply, you simply don't understand it. I'm not convinced that he actually understood anything he said. All right. Let's get on to the next guest. So if you're a Christian and you'd like to come up and give me a reason why I should be a Christian, like if you are actually interested in convincing me that Christianity is true, then come on up. Let's have a conversation. Hopefully you'll be a better interlocutor than my last guest. Back to Plato's Cave I go. The sticks. Man, how's your day been, Ash?
Sorry, my headphones were being dumb, so I had to unplug them from the mic, and I didn't catch anything that just happened.
Oh, I said, how's your day been?
Oh, it's been all right. My sleep schedule's all messed up again.
My sleep schedule's also fucked up. I went to bed at 6:30 last night.
I fell asleep at like 11 and then woke up like an hour later, couldn't go back to sleep, then fell asleep again, woke up, fell asleep again, woke up.
Yeah. Oh, we're both so woke we can't get a good night's of sleep.
That was so cringe. Never again.
Oh my God. It is not by might nor by power, faith the Lord of hosts. That is certainly a sentence. I think you may have butchered it because you didn't say it right. Paula, where's your pastor? I know, right? Where was Paula said that they were going to sick their pastor on me, and Paula's pastor still hasn't showed up. So I don't know what that was about. Our Mormon
Make America Woke Again, Mawa.
Founded by Borat. Mawa. Anyways, Someone said, "Are Mormons Christian?" I already answered that question. The answer is yes. On this channel, they are considered Christians.
I was talking to Fern earlier about the peeing on his bed, peeing on their bed comment. Excuse me. I have a lack of filter, and I need to stop. But you do too.
Do you believe in Jesus? I do believe that Jesus of Nazareth was a person that existed 2,000 years ago. If you mean, do you believe in Jesus as in, do you think he is the Christ, the Son of God? No, I think he was not the Messiah. And if he wasn't the Messiah, he certainly wasn't the Son of God.
I do not believe in magic, by the way.
Do you believe in magic? No, we don't.
Hard pass. Though I am still waiting for my Hogwarts letter.
Yeah, I've given up on that, especially if the school is founded by you know who. She who must not be named. Have you read secular sources on the historical existence of Jesus? Yeah, I've read Bart Ehrman's work on it. I've also read
Carrier as well.
Yeah, Carrier is also a secular source on the historical existence of Jesus, just towards the negative. Let's see. So I guess Paula's not going to send us her pastor. So that's disappointing. I really wanted to roast a pastor. Yeah, me too, St. Brown. I really wanted to see the pastor. Yeah, they said that. Oh God, this person named Paula. They said that they were going to have their pastor come up here, and then they said that their pastor was a childminder, which is another word for babysitter. Which, you know, feel bad for those kids.
Wait, that's a. I'm glad we don't, on a basis, call babysitter childminders, because that sounds.
They do that in the UK. That's what they're called, apparently.
Oh, jeez.
To be fair, babysitter also sounds very violent.
Oh no! Like you just sit on the babies.
Yeah. That's actually how the Israelites killed the Amalekite babies. He's too busy minding kids. Yeah, he couldn't get away from his child minding. Is it problematic to mention the IQ gap and religiosity both for individuals and countries? I really don't care about that particular. Like, I think it's good enough just to point out the bullshit of the Bible.
Yeah, I don't know that it's, if we're going to use that type of correlation, then think of what else that it could be applied to. And then you just kind of become ableist.
I love how RJ tried to like do an Uno reverse card. You atheists sure talk about kids a lot. When we were talking about kids just now, it's about how your pastors diddle kids. Nice try on the Uno reverse, but you just by pointing it out, you made me like explain it, which I just draws it back to your pastors again. So good job for shooting yourself in the foot there, RJ.
I mean, atheists also have children too. Like they birth them.
That is true. I've seen it.
Wait, what?
Well, I've seen that atheists have kids. I've never watched an atheist give birth to a kid. Don't point that at Christianity. Yeah, I will point that at Christianity. Your pastors are pedophiles. Why do so many churches have like sexual assault insurance? It's crazy.
Sam insurance is like required. Yeah, it's funny too because I'm not going to say where I live, but there was like some post about this pastor getting caught, and someone's like in this area, where I live, they're like, that doesn't happen. I just simple Google search. They have an extensive history of it. I just dropped the screenshot of the number of cases in the last 20 years, and it was an astronomical number.
I mean, evangelicals elected Jeff's BFF to the White House. Christians need to clean their house. Yep. Donald Dump is only there because Christians put him there. That's a huge problem for Christianity.
Donald Dump is too close for Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. I mean, I'm sure he also walks around with just a shirt on.
Yeah, I don't want to.
He's also got orange lips, like Donald Duck. Yeah.
I don't want to think about that mental image, though.
It's also hard to understand anything he's saying. So, like Donald Duck. If I were to debate you, I would psychologically piece you up before you could get any sig point. I don't even know what the fuck that means, and also, I don't think you're that guy, OG Sweat. You're not that guy.
Psychological, like I don't. Are you using that word correctly? Like, I'm very confused.
Probably not. Leave it to a Christian to invoke psychology and not know what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm just what system are you using to do this? I'm profoundly like confused.
Yeah, Christians are weird. Christians are weird. I don't. There's something that's impairing their social abilities. Something about church is doing it. I don't understand it. I wasn't this like. I was a social butterfly as a Christian. I wasn't this much of a fucking weirdo as people like OG Sweat. He didn't use peace correctly either.
Yes, RJ, I do piggyback off of what Dalton says. That's how a fucking conversation works.
That's also how a co-host works on a show.
Yeah.
RJ, you are.
I'm just gonna start talking about my own subject up here.
Just start, imagine I just start talking about the Bible and Ashley just starts pivoting about, like, I don't know, the latest episodes of Supernatural we just watched. Like this is RJ, I don't know. You're just a yapper. You're just a yapper.
By the way, ducks have corkscrew penises.
So does Donald Trump. That's why Melania doesn't want to touch him.
If just like start my own conversation with myself over here.
RJ staring lovingly at Duncan's lips. That's facts. All right. We're going to talk to Xander. Xander, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Are you possessed?
Xander, if you don't answer, I'm going to assume the answer is no. And then I'll just drop you. Anyways, moving on. Xander is a cop car. Woo! Is Xander in the room with us?
I had some guy on my live call in, like butt dial in, essentially on the TikTok live, and I just left him on the panel.
Big penis.
For like 20 minutes. We're like calling out this person's name, and then like we started having a conversation, and then I just asked them their opinion on it, and it was just background noise.
Whatever y'all do not go to Google Images and type in pig penis. Yeah, don't do it.
Wait, why are you doing that?
Someone said that pigs have corkscrew penises too, and I had to see for myself.
Sometimes curiosity is a little bad.
Yeah. Someone said, was he in the back of the car? Was he? Oh wait. Squealing is never good. Listen, that's what Christians do when they come up here. They squeal. When I start talking about the Bible. Yeah.
Dalton pulled up pictures of Duckweed the other day for everyone to see.
You're not my real dad Bible guy. I'll be RB. Okay. Why did it show Trump? At least don't search on a work computer. Technically, this is my work computer. I get to watch porn on my work computer, and my boss is okay with it. Anyways, everyone make sure you tap that screen, share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Get us up to 10K. Maybe we can get a Christian in here who wants to talk about the Bible or Christianity. Don't look on a school Chromebook. I wasn't able to do that on my school Chromebook.
Also on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, and if you can, send a super chat. Because remember, the Bible Guys channel is brought to you by viewers like you. Oh yeah, Dalton, did you ever add the new mod that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't even remember their name.
Yeah, I'll get them to say what's up in the chat.
Tell them to tag me. Do you allow friendly? Yeah, I mean, I should probably have a day where I take in office hours. Do office hours? Maybe I'll start doing office because Joe Vaughn does this thing where after the show he does office hours where friendlies can call in to ask questions, and maybe in the future I might do something like that. Casey Stewart is coming up. Casey, are you at least 18 years old? They're still loading in. They got MAGA Wi-Fi.
There's very few followers. I'm very sus on this account, by the way. And like one post that looks like it could have been stolen.
I'm sus of everybody.
That's fair.
TikTok Christians have created in me a huge distrust of strangers.
Stranger danger.
Yeah, they've like I lost it. I had it as a kid, lost it, and now I have it again. My school had to change the Wi-Fi password because kids kept hacking into it. That's funny. Well, I guess their Wi-Fi wasn't up to par.
Honestly, I might get in the van if they offer like puppies or something. But if they had a cross necklace on, I'm definitely not getting in that van.
Oh, they're here now. All right, Casey, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am. I was born in 2008. I graduated high school this year.
This is not convincing, my guy.
You know, we can tell when your balls haven't dropped, right?
Wait, hold up. Why are you saying all this, but you're talking about be Christian?
I'm not a fucking Christian kid, and I don't want
We
to
don't talk
to
to
you.
children. We don't talk to children. That is, yeah.
I graduated really recently.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, God. Oh my God. Why Christians? Why are it's only the crazies and the kids who want to call in?
If my voice is deeper than yours, your balls have not dropped.
Yeah. Crazy work. Man, that's what was that? That's a whole kid learning long division in class right now. How are you going to be a
PIMDAS?
Christian children who happen to be watching my show? First off, you shouldn't be here. Secondly, remember that Revelation 21 verse 8 says that liars end up in hell. So don't lie to me.
We are rated M for mature.
Yeah. You missed your opportunity to be a childminder. Hard pass. Future pastor right there. Yeah, lying to a giant audience. Future pastor. That's great. If Ashlyn's voice was deeper than mine, I would be very confused. I sing bass.
I'm a real man.
Oh God. We'll get you a voice changer.
Dude, you know Angela from Smosh?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
When the video of her pretending to be Chance's friend.
Yeah.
It's not that. Can I bring a bear? I halfway through that, I was like, actually no, I wasn't even that. I was like, I didn't even realize it was Angela until Shane was like, Angela, how's it going?
I had to look because it was just the short, and that part wasn't in the short that I saw. So I was looking at the comment section. I had to listen to it like 3 times, and then my brain was like, yeah, that is Angela. She did really good though.
Damn host, you sexualized a younger person. When? Do I look like do I wear a white collar and a black suit? I don't fucking do that shit.
I'm older than Dalton, just FYI. So if that's what you're referring to.
Oh my God.
I did sexualize a younger person. Dalton is younger than me.
Did somebody say meatloaf? Oh man, Spencer Agnew. Does anyone else think that Spencer Agnew kind of looks like young George Clooney? I mean, not George Clooney. Young George. George. What's his name? Fuck, the guy who made Star Wars. George.
Yeah.
George Lucas. Thank you. Fuck me. Yeah, Spencer looks like a young George Lucas.
Why did y'all tell him? I was just gonna let this go on.
And I got some super chats here. From
At House 70 with the $5. All Christians must have the truck phone. Can't connect at all, not even to the truth.
Ooh, sick burn. Love that one, House. Very good. Love that.
And at Mediocre Thoughts with the $5. Gotta run. Just want to say hi and support the channel. Have a great evening, everyone.
Oh, thank you, Mediocre Thoughts. And I love your username, Mediocre. So funny. Speaking of ogres, guys, I'm so excited for Fable to come out. That's like top priority games that I'm waiting for. Fable. I like Duncan's super chat voice without changer. Without the changer? You like my voice without the changer? Anyways, there's a new Fable game. Oh, Mama Mephistopheles. Absolutely. It's coming out in February. And go and watch Fable demo on YouTube. I like Duncan with makeup. Here, wait a minute. I can fix that. Why do I sound like Sam from Holes? I can fix that.
Dalton likes to play no, never mind. I was going to make a joke about how Fable is a short story, but that didn't land.
It fell through.
It fell through so hard.
There you go. Yeah, Fable's coming out February. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for it. I'm actually looking forward to the next game that's coming out that I'm looking forward to is Blood of Dawnwalker, where you can play as a vampire by night, a human by day. Really cool game. Fable 2. Wait. Someone said,
do you have Video Ninja up?
Video Ninja?
Yeah.
It hasn't been working.
Okay, someone's I guess trying to get in the YouTube chat and they're
Oh yeah, no, I haven't had it up for a while. Fable 2, did you play it? What did you pick at the end and why was it save your dog over all others? I played like 5 minutes of Fable 2. I've only played Fable 1 all the way through. I have played none of Fable 3. So yeah, I might have to play all 3 of them again before the new one comes out.
Lathe wants you to play Wicker, I guess.
Wicker?
Yeah.
What is?
I don't know. I don't know what it is either.
Never heard of it. Never heard of Wicker.
Play the trailer for Wicker. Okay, so it's not a game. I was confused. I'm sorry, Lathe.
Oh, I will do that at another time where I can't be demonetized for showing other stuff. Did you mean Witcher?
Did I read that wrong? I don't have my glasses on.
No, she wrote Wicker. Oh yeah, she meant The Witcher. Oh yeah, okay. The Witcher. I've played The Witcher 3. A little bit of it. What up with the makeup, dude? Nothing. I just look hot as fuck. It's the new movie called Wicker. Wicker for good. Fable 2 was completely amazing and had some of the best side quests ever. Well, no, you don't. Here, put a 1 in the comment section if you think I look hot as fuck with this makeup on. Let's all show Jim that they're just wrong.
I'd hit it.
There you go. All right, Wax Unbeliever is coming up. Wax, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
You're a bit muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go, it's better. And question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
No, there were no ops. That's why I was going to ask about the IQ disparity thing.
Yeah, it's about how what countries what are more religious.
Well, countries and individuals. Yeah, like the more religious a country is, generally the lower average IQ is, and as you go higher on IQs in countries, the less
in any society, the less religious you get. And
That's
some people
not-
said that's a
it's
problematic.
just, even if it were true, I just wouldn't use it in a conversation, because there are really smart Christians also. I would just talk about the problems with the Bible is the best bet.
Also, that's correlative, and that's like that can get down to some eugenics type dialogue. That's why that's like problematic. It's also very ableist to start to say, well, like, oh, well, you're because this is linked, and we get to the conclusion that like they're lesser than because of this, like the way that they think or anything like that. It's just it lends to some highly problematic conclusions.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do in these conversations is just simply to talk about the problems with their theology, the problems with their God beliefs, the problems with the Bible, and that's going to be the best method for like dismantling Christianity.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just mentioned it sort of offhandedly in the comments. Like I said, I wonder if there's a connection on why higher IQ countries are more secular. And I don't know, some people that seem to get a bit of a negative reaction. I wasn't sure if there was a reason for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors, and I think just pinning it on religion alone would be a big mistake for us to do.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
like
I was
like-
more so saying that people with lower IQs. I think that lower IQs. I don't think religiosity causes the lower IQs. I think it's a reverse. People with lower IQs tend to be more likely to be religious.
Well, I mean,
not that
I used to
religion-
be religious.
Yeah, the problem is like looking at these countries, like, do they have access to the same resources and education? Because IQ can be, despite what kind of the layman thinks, IQ can change with introduction to like critical thought and problem solving. And it was used to think that it was like always steady, but that's not always the case.
Now, I will grant that while there are many smart Christians, they don't seem to make a lot of appearances here on TikTok. But that's
Well, maybe that says something about TikTok, but I don't want to say that.
yeah, yeah, maybe.
But
Christian,
yeah, I wasn't
the
even.
the worst of Christianity seems to like congregate here on the app.
Yeah, but I wasn't saying that IQ is consistent either. Just that it seems that that is a correlation between it, where not even necessarily that IQs aren't impacted by like diet or other things.
So IQ is a normal distribution, right? It fits on that. Like a lot of the times when you're seeing these IQ disparities, by the way, they're also like minimally different within like these populations. I don't know what specific populations you're talking about, but that is the typicality that you see. It's also when like one culture develops the IQ test and then goes and gives it to another culture, like that's an issue. We did that like in a racist way where it was designed around like white language and then handed it out to African American populations and was like, look, see, this supports our conclusion. They're just not as smart, which is like, no, you just gave them a test within this culture and then expected them to understand the language that's being used.
Now, this is more of an office hours question, and I think I'm gonna wait. If you know, to have these, I'm gonna drop you down just so we can leave more opposition. I mean, more room for opposition to come in. But hey, thanks for watching.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna dedicate like 15 minutes after the live today to doing office hours questions for any friendlies who would like to come up and ask your questions, or to make conversation about something. That would be the time to do it. All right, we're gonna bring in Truth and Telos. Always a red flag when someone's got the word truth in their username. Truth and Telos, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
I have not yet decided.
What? We usually learn that in elementary school.
Ooh, well, I was homeschooled. I don't know if that.
Yep, and we learned that people learn that in high school. People
Is-
like refer to you in the third person all the time, and you're
If you haven't decided, is they them okay? A gender neutral pronoun?
Yeah, it's indeterminate at this moment. I'm not sure. I'd have to really do some consultative research on it. It's a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry. It kind of gives
You
me
don't-
anxiety when I think about it.
You don't know your gender identity?
It gives
How
me a
old
lot
are
of
you?
anxiety. 35.
I guess we'll just use they them for you. That's weird. Anyways, are you a Christian?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I hope you weren't lying to us about number 2, because Revelation 21 verse 8. What does it say about liars?
Probably something about them not having the right to the tree of life and outside the city gates. Something like that.
It says they'll go to hell. Now I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Well, I mean, as far as why, subjective. It could be projective. It also could be in regards to.
Wait, what?
You know, if you're seeking truth. I say if you're seeking truth.
No, what is this about? Projective?
No, subjective. It could be a subjective or projective. Yeah.
What's projective?
Like your purview on how things might be, translating to reality.
Is that a real word?
It is in fact not a real word.
Well, I did tell you I was homeschooled. It could have been wrong.
Projective or perspective are words, but
perspective. Yeah.
You use the word perspective already, so this has to be a troll.
Just give me why should I be a Christian?
Oh, well, I mean, as far as for why should one be, like I said, that comes down to like your own personal subjective idea of should and should not, right?
By should I mean why should I think that the claims of Christianity are true? Like I'm just asking for justified reasons to think Christianity is true.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, so I'm what one would call a covenant creationist and a fulfilled covenant eschatologist. So I believe that the entirety of the Bible was fulfilled in 70 AD. That was Jesus's parousia. That was the establishment of the new covenant. And I also believe that the entirety of the New Testament is pointing towards the destruction of the temple in 70 AD.
Chill. No one asked you any of that.
Yeah, none of that is going to tell me why I should think Christianity is true.
Well, I could lay out the argument. If the entirety of the Old Testament is pointing towards the fall of the temple in 70 AD, and the Old Testament was written at least 220 years before the fall of the temple in 70 AD.
My favorite color. My favorite color is rose gold. I'm saying just as much things that are pertinent to the conversation that we're having as you are.
The Pentateuch was
no,
written
you're looking for research.
The Pentateuch was written 600 years before the destruction of the temple. None of this is telling me I should. None of this is telling me why I should be a Christian.
I'm sorry. Some people believe that the earliest version of the of the Old Testament is like with the Septuagint, 150 BC. But you believe
that's just a translation.
Why should we be a
that
Christian?
Yeah,
why should we be a Christian? Why?
Yeah,
should
like for example,
do
you think Jesus is the Messiah?
That's irrelevant to why I think you should be like about the truths of Christianity.
No, that's the central claim of the New Testament.
No, that's you trying to control the narrative.
No.
What I told you.
Is Jesus dead?
Wait, what is like the opening? What is the opening words of the New Testament?
That depends what you're talking about. Like in Matthew.
Yes.
Yeah, Matthew is concerned with the genealogy to Jesus.
The genealogy of Jesus. Jesus. Can you finish the sentence?
The Son of God?
No. This is the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Like it's literally it's what is like the climax of the Gospel of Matthew is Peter's declaration that Jesus is what?
The Son of God?
And?
Messiah?
Yes. If Jesus
Okay.
isn't the Messiah, is Christianity true?
I think it's irrelevant to what I was saying.
It's very relevant. It's like relevant if I whether or not Christianity is true. Like if Jesus isn't the Messiah, then Christianity is not true, and I shouldn't be a Christian.
But Messiah just means one smeared with oil. So
Well, no, there's more to
There's
it than
plenty of
just being.
Messiahs.
Well, there's more to being the Messiah than just being smeared with oil.
I'm
You
sorry.
all-
Go ahead.
you can't be serious. When we talk about someone being the Messiah, not just an anointed one, but the Messiah, we're referring to an individual who was allegedly prophesied in the Hebrew Bible and who was fulfilling prophecies that are particular to the Messiah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're controlling the narrative. You asked me, hey, what reason should I believe?
Here, just
and
let
then
him-
you're saying, hey, you
let-
need to
let-
talk about Messiah.
Give me let's start over. Give me one good reason why I should be a Christian. And what you were saying at the
Okay.
beginning of this is not going to be that.
Hold on. Can I ask a question? Truth, what shape is the Earth?
What is it? A spheroid? Is that what they call it?
Okay. Oblate spheroid. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, oblate spheroid. Yeah.
Just checking.
Cool. So anyway, when you want a claim to legitimacy, if you believe the Pentateuch was written in 600 or 700 BC or whatever, cool. I'll go with your dating.
That is the consensus among scholars. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So we have in the Pentateuch, it is pointing towards the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, which is 670 years before it happened. So I believe you have a claim of legitimate prophecy. That is my
Incorrect. The temple's not mentioned anywhere in the Pentateuch. The tabernacle is, and its construction, but the temple being destroyed.
That's not true at all.
Not mentioned in the Pentateuch.
Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32, Song of Moses.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Deuteronomy 32. What verse are you in specific?
The entirety of the chapter.
Oh my
Just
god!
the whole thing?
Just the whole
What?
thing. Is it going to mention the destruction of the temple specifically?
Yeah, it actually does.
Here, I'm just going to
Moses
do
prefaces it.
I'm just
Oh,
going
okay,
to
go ahead.
I'm going to do a word search so I can just make this quicker. Let's see. Temple. Let's see. It looks like the word temple doesn't occur in the Bible until 1 Samuel. So that wasn't true what you said.
So you're looking for an exact word fallacy.
I'm just looking
That's what you're
I'm just
looking
looking for where it says that the temple would be destroyed.
Wait,
Okay, so-
make the argument. Tell us what verse, and then break down the verse and explain how this is the case. You can't just say all of a chapter and be like, "See."
Yeah, there's like fucking how many verses are in this?
Well-
there's 52 fucking verses. I don't have time to read this
Yeah.
on the live.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to read it on the live, but the
Yeah,
entirety of the chapter is invoking.
Like narrow it. Where does it discuss the destruction of the temple in this?
Well, when it talks about the vengeance being repaid upon the people that were his enemies, he's talking about the first century corrupt generation. Moses
Okay.
identifies it in chapter 31. He says, I stand before you, right? And I have heaven and earth witnessing against you. That's temple language.
Well,
so the temple,
not
the
necessar-
tabernacle is
nope.
witnessing against Israel.
Nope, not necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, that can just be a reference to the earth and the heavens.
In the ancient Near East, did they identify heaven and earth as the temple where the God dwelt?
It can be. That doesn't mean that that's what it
Did
means
God-
in Deuteronomy 31.
Did God dwell in the tabernacle?
Yeah,
So could that be the heaven and earth?
that Moses is referring to, not without good reason. Is this
Well-
is this really your best argument for why I should be a Christian? By the way,
Yeah,
when was
it is.
the Pentateuch was written after the temple was destroyed? So even if it did contain language about the temple, that wouldn't tell me anything about why I should be a Christian.
Well, no, the temple. So you're saying the Pentateuch was written in Babylonian exile after the first temple was already destroyed.
That is the consensus of scholarship. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely wasn't written
At
by
that
Moses.
time? that's fine. at that time, was that when the nations were made part of the congregation of Israel?
Well, there have always been times in Israel's history where non-Israelites became part of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ruth.
Interesting.
So why should I be a Christian?
Well, if we're going to be looking at the entirety of the Old Testament, we could look at Daniel's declaration of the 490 years,
Which
would be from the time.
Which doesn't get you to the time of Jesus.
Oh no, you're right. It gets you to the destruction of the temple in 70 AD.
Incorrect. No, it only gets you to around. It gets you to like. It gets you to around 40 BCE.
No, that's not true, because he's talking about from the time of the second temple being finished, built, which
He says
again,
that there
you
are
can look it up.
490 years from the going
Mhm.
forth of the word to rebuild and restore Jerusalem until the time of the Anointed One.
That's not what it says. It says
Yeah,
the completion of the word.
Here, yeah, no,
The
from the time
completion
here,
of the word.
Here, I'll read Daniel right now, and then also Ezra 1:1 gives you the explanation for what Daniel chapter 9 is talking about. Let's take a look. 70 weeks are decreed for your people and for your holy city to finish the transgression, to put an end to sin, and to atone for iniquity. Where's the part where it says, know therefore and understand from the time that the word went out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the time of an anointed prince, there shall be 7 weeks, and for 62 weeks it shall be built again with street and moat, and but in troubled times. 490 years. So it says that from the going forth of the word to rebuild and restore Jerusalem, who gave that word according to the book of Ezra?
It's not. See, this is exactly what the partial preterists do. They say it's Jeremiah. When Jeremiah wrote that, when Cyrus.
Yeah, I don't
gave
care.
the
I don't care what partial preterists say. I'm not a partial preterist. I don't give a shit.
Uh-huh.
What does
But
the
you're
book
using
of
the same argument.
what I don't care. What does the book of Ezra say?
It was at the time of Cyrus that he
Cyrus.
released them to go.
Yeah, well, does it say that Cyrus's word fulfills the prophecy of Jeremiah?
No.
It doesn't say that?
Oh, so you never go full preterist.
In the first year of King Cyrus of Persia, to fulfill the word of the Lord from the mouth of Jeremiah. So does Cyrus's proclamation fulfill the word from the mouth of Jeremiah?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant Daniel. It does not fulfill what Daniel was.
Well, no. What is Daniel praying about in Daniel chapter 9? He's praying about Jeremiah's prophecy.
The restoration of the city. Mhm.
No, he's praying about he's praying about Jeremiah's prophecy.
No, that's not the text.
You didn't read the beginning of Daniel 9, did you?
I absolutely have. He read Jeremiah. Yes.
In the first year of Darius, son of Ahasuerus, by birth a Mede, who became king over the realm of the Chaldeans, I, Daniel, perceived in the books of the numbers of years that according to the word of the Lord to the prophet Jeremiah must be fulfilled for the devastation of Jerusalem, namely 70 years. Jeremiah prophesied 70 years. Daniel is praying about that prophecy from Jeremiah, and the vision and the vision that the angel gives him is in response to the prophecy of Jeremiah.
Right, but it's not the same thing. The going forth of Cyrus's word to release Israel is not the same of what Daniel is saying, because he knew that their captivity was coming soon to be done. But that's why he starts praying to get restored back to the land. And then you have the fulfillment of the temple being rebuilt.
Is there is there a word here? Daniel said in this is the word that goes forth to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. Did Cyrus give a word to restore and rebuild Jerusalem?
Yes, but it's not. Look, it's not the going forth. It is. If you look at that word in Hebrew, it is the fulfillment.
All words go forth. What are you talking about?
No, in that verse, the word in Hebrew is not going. It's not the going forth of the word. It's the completion of the word. Which means Cyrus gives a decree, right? Hold on. Cyrus gives the decree. That's the going forth. The completion of that is when the second temple is done being built, which scholars agree happened about 420 BC.
Chill out. You're getting a bit too much. Right for me. Let's see. Mean Motza What's motzah? Motzah means going forth. Min motzah devar lahashiv labanot Yerushalayim ad Mashiach nagid shivuim shiva'ah. That from the going forth of the word to rebuild and restore restore Jerusalem until an anointed prince is 70 sets of 7. It uses the word going forth, motzah.
Truth, if you leave the screen, we cannot hear you. We can see that you're teacup, just FYI. And if you're gone for too long, the app will drop you.
I will be right back. Hold on one second.
I'll show the audience what the Hebrew says. But there's no.
Also, I'm rereading chapter 32 because it's an interesting chapter to me. And I forget, at the end of it, it tells you what this chapter is about. And it's not prophecy.
Of course not. All right. It says here, Min motzah devar. Min is from. Motzah is to go forth. And then devar is the word. From the going forth of the word. Lehashiv labanot. And from the rebuilding, restoring Yerushalayim of Jerusalem. Ad unto Mashiach, anointed Nagid, prince. Shivuim Shivua. 77s.
I don't think they were expecting you to speak Hebrew.
No, I know that he brings up the Hebrew. Mm-hmm.
So, when did a word go forth to rebuild and restore Jerusalem? Did Cyrus proclaim a word to rebuild and restore Jerusalem?
Correct. Yes. The timeline is Cyrus gives the decree to release Israel from captivity. They go back, they're rebuilding the temple, but from the time of the temple being done,
why do we keep saying done? Why you keep saying done? Daniel says that from the going forth of the word to restore and not from the time it's done. It's not what it says.
But what does verse 24 start with?
Verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Yeah, I talked about what happens. That's what happens at the end of it. But verse 25 tells you when it's supposed to start.
Okay. Is
your aunt over, Dalton?
She is. You can hear her, can't you?
Yeah.
1 second. Let me close my door. Talk to Christians about.
Oh yeah, Daniel is complex AF. Why did I just say AF? That was cringe. Okay.
That was cringe AF.
Cringe AF.
I'm gonna need you to hop back into this conversation, bud.
When it comes to these types of things, I don't even get involved because if me getting involved would just further complicate this discussion.
Yeah. So when it's talking about the returning of building, right? Are you saying that this is their return?
The going forth to rebuild and restore Jerusalem.
Where does it say that it is for the rebuilding and restoring of Jerusalem? It says the return to.
Well, return there, lehashiv, can also mean to restore. That's why translators translate it as restore.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to essentially come down to, you're saying that it's 30 years too short. I'm saying that it lines up perfectly if we take when the temple was done being built.
Not 30 years too short. more than that because it's not.
130.
Yeah, it's not 40 CE. It's 40 BCE.
Right.
You take from the time that the word went forward, and then you had 490 years. It doesn't get you to it doesn't even get you to the time when Jesus was born.
I understand, but if you take when the second temple was done being restored,
but why
right?
would I do that? But why would I do that? It's not what the text says.
But it is. It's talking about them returning to finish the restoration of the temple.
Not finish. Why do you keep putting the word? You keep inserting the word "finish" in there. Why do you keep doing that?
Because you're saying it's the restoration of Jerusalem. Like, okay, when Cyrus says you're going to go and restore Jerusalem,
when it says Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, I assume it means Jerusalem.
Yeah, obviously.
Min motza lahashiv labanot Yerushalayim. From the going forth of the word to rebuild and restore Jerusalem.
But again, it's interpretive gloss because it could be saying to go back to finish the temple being built. That's the whole point.
So
when they're rebuilding
all
the temple,
the scholars who translate this are wrong, and you're right.
No, hold on. There's many different translations of the Bible. And so some will say return.
So
some might say restore.
I will go with an ecumenical translation, which has like multiple like groups fact checking each other. If I have an ecumenical translation, what's it going to say?
Could say either again.
Well, no, we have ecumenical translations. What do they say? Know therefore and understand from the time that the word went out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the time. So that's the NRSV UE. Let's see what the JPS 2023 edition says. Let's see what that one said. That's a really good. I mean, that's one of the best Hebrew translations out there. Is the JPS. Tanakh. Let's see. Go to the book of Daniel. Let's see. Go to chapter 9. Let's see how they render it. These actual Hebrew speakers. You must know and understand from the issuance of the word to restore and rebuild Jerusalem.
Also, make sure while you're listening, there are 113 people in here and only 7.2k likes. Tap that screen. Tap it. Tap, tap, tap. Tap Dalton's pretty little face.
So anyway, yeah. What I would go back to is if we read Ezra and Nehemiah, it talks about how they had to return back to Jerusalem because it was going to happen in times of turmoil and strife and all that stuff. And then that's that word going forth for them to finish the building of the temple.
No,
you get 490 years. You get 70.
What? No, because Ezra tells you that it's Cyrus's word that fulfills the prophecy.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. You're conflating what Jeremiah was speaking of and what Daniel is being told to start the clock at.
Daniel is praying about Jeremiah's prophecy. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason the chapter starts. No. Yes.
Daniel is praying because he knows that the end of the captivity is near. But when it gives the clock for the 490 years, you're conflating, this is when it's saying for them to go to Jerusalem to start rebuilding. No, it was them returning to Jerusalem to finish.
No, not return. Restore Jerusalem.
No, it's not restore, it's return.
Okay, listen, I'm going to side with the scholars on this. Sorry. This is not a very good reason for me to be a Christian.
What does it say in the Septuagint? Let's look at the Septuagint.
Why would I look at why would I look at a Greek translation?
Mm-hmm.
I could look at the original Hebrew.
Because
and then I got the best
overwhelming amount of scholars.
And I got the best scholars on the planet from both Christian and Jewish sources who all agree that this means to restore Jerusalem.
Even right in the interlinear, it tells you it's actually to return.
Well, interlinear doesn't tell you jack shit.
Yeah, right. I know. It's okay. But again, we could look at the Septuagint. Scholars would say the Septuagint of Daniel predates the Masoretic text of Daniel.
Oh, I'm not using the Masoretic text. Dead Sea Scrolls agree with the Masoretic text here.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, do you have anything better than this?
I mean, no, that's pretty like, solid case if you just take the text for what it's trying to convey.
I do take the text for what it's trying to convey. It doesn't say what you want it to say.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Well, maybe next time.
Okay.
Maybe. Probably not, though.
Probably not, though. That was weak sauce. Man. Jesus Christ. Why do they always have to go to the Septuagint? Like, I'm going to give a shit what some Greek translation says. All right. Humbleness is back. Humbleness, a reminder for everyone, humbleness is over 18. They go by he, him, and they're a Christian. Humbleness, why should I be a Christian?
I've never seen you in makeup.
Yeah, I'm hot. Now, what brings you back there? I mean, you have a good reason for me to be a Christian now?
Well, I'm working on it, and I'm learning Hebrew. So one day we'll have a good conversation about Hebrew. So anyways, I do have a point to make about the Septuagint and how...
Oh, God.
And how, people like to say, well, it doesn't specifically say virgin in the Hebrew, right?
It doesn't
But why
say,
is it?
It doesn't even say virgin really in the Greek.
No, I fact checked that. And the word used is
Parthenos.
associated with...
And
Yeah.
are you aware that Parthenos is used for non-virgins in the Septuagint? For
Where?
example, would you agree that a woman who's been raped is not a virgin?
Yes, physically, yes.
Well, I mean, there's no really such thing as a physical virgin, but so we have here the story of Dinah. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. You want to know what the Septuagint, what the word for damsel is there?
Let's hear it.
Parthenon. It's Parthenos.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it calls her a Parthenos after she's been raped. So clearly, like biblical Hebrew, in classical Greek, so in Koine Greek, Parthenos usually refers to a virgin. In classical Greek, Attic Greek, as it's called, a Parthenos, like the word Alma, just means a young woman. It can be a virgin or a not virgin, context dependent.
So context, so the Jewish scholars or the Jewish rabbis that compiled the Septuagint would know that because she's young and because of the societal norms, her not being married would imply that she's a virgin.
Wait, who says she's not married? Who says that the woman in question's not married in Isaiah 7? Where are you getting that conclusion?
Because it would state that she's married, right? So it's just a young woman.
Why would it have to state she's married? You're assuming too much. You don't know anything about
Well,
this.
I mean,
just from this verse alone, you don't know anything. Why would it need to say, look, the married young woman? Why you don't need to say that?
Yeah, it's very important.
Especially if Isaiah is like talking to Ahaz, and the person in question is someone that Am and Ahaz know. Now we do have good reasons to think that we might know who this young woman is, because when we read Isaiah chapter 8, we see the same exact language being used again. It says in Isaiah chapter 8, then the Lord said to me, take a large tablet and write on it in common characters, belonging to Maher Shalal Hashbaz, and have it attested for me by reliable witnesses, the priest Uriah and Zechariah son of Jerebekiah. And I went to the prophetess. This is Isaiah speaking. I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. Then the Lord said to me, name him Maher Shalal Hashbaz. For before the child knows how to call my mother and my father, the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried away by the king of Assyria. Notice that language, about before the child knows X, Y, and Z. When we go back and read Isaiah 7, right after verse 14, where it says, this child will be born, you'll call him his name Emmanuel. It says, he shall eat curds and honey by the time he knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good. For before the child knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land of whose two kings you are in dread will be deserted. The same exact language is used for both children. Notice that the child Emmanuel is also called a sign. And later in Isaiah chapter 8, Isaiah says, See, I and the children, plural, whom the Lord has given me are signs and portents in Israel from the Lord of hosts who dwells on Mount Zion. So Isaiah says he has kids, plural, and these kids are signs. We have 2 kids who are said to be born and conceived and born, and they're said to use the same exact prophetic language. It's probably most likely that the woman in question of Isaiah 7:14 is the prophetess, Isaiah's wife.
So it's cutting out the last 5 seconds.
It's most likely that Isaiah
Oh, crap.
7:14's woman is the prophetess, the wife of Isaiah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep doing research. I do have one question for you though. If you just take a step back and look at the traditions and the customs and everything that's building up to the Messiah, why is all this focus on having a unblemished sacrifice? Sheep going before the slaughter. What is it actually pointing towards?
It's not
Do
pointing.
you think it was?
It's not pointing towards anything. The Israelites. What it's pointing towards is not something in the future. It's pointing towards something in the past. The purpose of the Passover lamb was a reminder to the Israelites of the Exodus from Egypt.
But why do they place their sins on these?
Oh, the Passover lamb. You don't place your sins on the Passover lamb.
But other traditions, right? Why?
No, there's no Jewish tradition where the Passover lamb is.
I'm not talking about Passover lamb.
The Yom Kippur sacrifice, because in the ancient world, people believed in the idea that sins could be atoned for and that gods could be appeased by offering up offerings to them.
Okay, so why place sins on a sacrifice? And it had to be unblemished. What was?
Well, unblemished because it's like if you're like, for example, if you're going to give a gift to a king, you're going to give the best of what you got, not the worst, right? The ancient Israelites thought of God as like a king. Like, it's not just the Israelites. Ancient peoples thought that they were giving gifts to gods, and if you're giving a gift to a god, you give the best version of that gift you can.
And so why is there no more gifts? Why is there no?
Because the temple's
destroyed.
Yeah, if the temple was rebuilt today, Jewish people would be offering up the sacrifices again. In fact, the Temple Institute in Israel is dedicated towards that. There are priests at the Temple Institute who are currently practicing sacrifices in preparation for the temple. Like, they're learning how to do proper sacrifices and everything.
Okay, I do find it strange that the Israeli government is using.
No.
Let's not go there, please.
Okay.
I do not trust people. I do not trust this conversation won't go anti-Semitic in some sort of way, because there is a very fine line between criticizing the Israeli government and then being anti-Semitic.
Yeah, at least Christians have a hard time towing that line.
I'm pretty good at it, but I understand.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I'll keep working on it, but God's true, guys.
No, he's not.
He's real, I promise you.
He's not.
He is, but
he's not.
100% is.
100% no. But nice try. Man, I'm still not Christian. Me neither.
It was a better conversation than the last one we've had with Humble, I feel like. So there's some improvement.
Yeah, improvement was made there. For sure. All right. Well, we got 10 minutes left before the end of the show. So if you're a Christian, you'd like to hurry up and get a conversation. And I will go past the 3-hour marker if we have a conversation going. And then afterwards, we will do office hours for friendlies.
Also, if he's 100% real, what would happen if he was only 50% real?
Right? He would only be real every other day of the week.
At House 70 with the $5. I don't know about IQ, but for sure applies for perceived happiness level. The lower the religiosity, the higher the happiness level. Let's not forget the
correlation does not equal causation. I'm very, very slow to start making claims like that because I don't know enough about the data.
Yeah, it's very difficult to like, because everyone's happiness, by the way, isn't like, there are some religious people who would be more happy if they're religious rather than non-religious, right? But is it the belief in God, or is it the community? Is it they just can't deal with like the existentialism? There would be further questions that you would have to ask to get closer to a root, and individually that's going to change as well. There's not like a really good like blanket to slap on everyone and be like, this is true.
Roro says, question, what is your opinion about Jesus to be the Messiah? I don't think he's a Messiah because he does not fulfill any prophecies about the Messiah from the Old Testament.
Also, hi Roro, it's been quite some time. I haven't seen you around.
Yeah, I sent out the bat signal for No Degree. Oh, he's blocked from this channel, so there's no way for him to see.
No.
Oh, you mean like the you mean you alerted everyone to the rebuttal to his his argument that he's making. So just a quick reminder for everyone: No Degree Required is going around saying that the Israelites were not owned by. I asked No Degree because he really wants to like get rid of slavery in the Bible. I asked him, were the Israelites slaves in Egypt? And No Degree Required said no. The Egyptians just thought they were slaves, which doesn't make any sense. But if you hear No Degree make that claim, I want you to present to him in the comment section, or if on the panel, if you're there, ask him if God is a liar. And if he says no, which he probably will say no, ask him why did God say that they were slaves in Deuteronomy 5:15? What? Yeah, no, yeah, sticks. No Degree keeps saying no, they were not slaves in Egypt. They just thought they were. Egyptians just thought they were slaves in Egypt. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that the Israelites could have left at any time they wanted to? No.
Also, No Degree goes around and says that people say things like Dr. Bowen, Godless Engineer, and even Dalton. If No Degree says, they so and so said this, just assume he's lying.
Yeah, but I know he's not going to listen, but at least when, whatever show you're on, the audience will at least get to see you guys like absolutely demolish No Degree on this topic. So that's always a win. No Degree isn't worth the oxygen he's stealing, let alone me using mine to engage him. Oh my God. I refuse to be on a panel with him. He is the worst. He is like, there's something, I think one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to some Christians is when there's a mixture of like grand stupidity mixed with, because grand stupidity on its own is not enough to piss me off, but grand stupidity mixed with a high degree of unearned confidence, that's what does it for me. Being really confident in your stupidity is a really big pet peeve for me. They're so confident. Yeah, they're so confident. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any Christians to come on up. So if you're friendly and you have questions that you'd like to ask me, office hours are now open. So go ahead and come on up and ask your questions. Dr. Bowen agrees with me. Bible Guy agrees with me. DZ agrees with me. He cannot stop lying. Yeah, I heard him say DZ agrees with me. And I even asked. I think I asked Blitz about. I asked. He also said Blitz agrees with him. And I asked Blitz about it, and Blitz was like, "That guy's crazy."
I don't know who Ashlyn is.
Yeah, who's
God
Ashlyn?
Spokeman. Who's Ashlyn?
Who's Ashlyn?
My name is in front of you on the screen.
I don't. The number of people, like, there are two things that Christians cannot do. It's read the Bible and read your name.
It's okay. At least there was a thing, people thought I was from North Dakota.
They thought you were Ashley from North Dakota.
Are we dating? No. You can have friendships with people. Though we don't help the case. We really don't.
They can't pronounce or read my name either. Lathe of Heaven or your real name, Dalton Cuck. I have never once sat in a corner and watched Ashlyn have sex with somebody. So that was weird.
Except that one time.
Except for that one time. Mikey's thoughts. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
Are you a Christian or a non-Christian?
Not Christian.
All right. What brings you up to the Bible Guy show?
Well, I've been watching you for a long time, so just appreciate you giving you. I've gathered so much information, so just appreciate it. You probably don't know who I am, but I've been behind the scenes. Now that you've been having this office hours, I want to ask, like, what is your interpretation of the Son of Man? I watched Bart Ehrman's video about him not claiming, Jesus never really claimed that he was God. So, you know, I've read some of the text itself, and it really doesn't say that. So I want to know, like, what you think about the Son of Man interpretation.
So specifically, are you wanting to know who I think the Son of Man figure is from Daniel 7?
Yeah, and why does Jesus refer to himself as Son of Man so many times in the New Testament?
All right, so the Son of Man figure, there are 2 hypotheses that I find very compelling as to who the Son of Man figure is intended to be in Daniel 7. Dr. John J. Collins, who is the author of the Daniel commentary from the Hermeneia Bible commentary series, tends to think that the Son of Man figure is meant to be an angelic figure, like perhaps Michael the Archangel. I haven't really read in depth his reasoning for that, but he's like the preeminent Daniel scholar, so he probably has his reasons. I just need to open up the book. I have the book. I just need to open up and actually read it through. The other one is that the Son of Man figure is meant to be symbolic of the nation of Israel as a whole, which I find quite compelling because the 4 beasts before are symbolic of kingdoms: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and the Seleucid Empire. So the idea that the Son of Man figure would also be a symbol of a nation, being Israel, makes sense. Also, it says about the Son of Man figure that the nations will like bow down and worship him, and then later it says that the nations would bow down and worship them, referring to the people of Israel. So it's always possible that that's who the Son of Man figure is intended to be. Now, over time, the Son of Man figure, remember, like, there's like a 200-year period between around the time that Daniel was written and the time of Jesus. Ideas develop over time, and the Son of Man figure, if it's right that John J. Collins is right that the Michael the Archangel figure is intended to be the Son of Man figure, it's very easy to see how that could evolve to be like a sort of messianic figure, especially since Michael is called the Prince later in Daniel 12, and also we have a prince in Daniel 9 who's called a Mashiach, a Messiah, anointed one. So the idea that the Son of Man figure would be like associated with the Messiah, it's easy to see how that idea might evolve. And Jesus definitely sees himself as the Son of Man of Daniel chapter 7. Although, like you said, and I agree with you, Jesus never once claims to be ontologically identical with Yahweh. He is the Son of Man, but he's not God himself.
Right, right. Do you think the wording itself, Son of Man, the authors intended to use that title instead of Son of God? Because I know the later interpretation from theology was Son of God, but I wanted to know if you think that it's interpreted incorrectly and that original authors didn't think that.
So Son of Man isn't only used in Daniel 7, it's used throughout the Hebrew Bible. For example, in the book of Ezekiel, God refers to the prophet Ezekiel as Son of Man. And the reason for that in Hebrew, Son of Man is Ben Adam, son of Adam, Adam. So a Son of Man is another way of just saying human being.
Right. That's what I find interesting too. Very much interesting.
In fact, a lot of translations will translate it not as Son of Man anymore. More contemporary translations will translate Daniel 7's Son of Man figure as simply a human being. I could be wrong, but I think the JPS, the Jewish Publication Society translation, 2023 edition, translates it as human being. Let me take a look. Daniel 7:14. No, it's 7:13. Yeah. as I looked on in the night vision, one like a human being came with the clouds of heaven. So in Hebrew, it's Ben Adam. The Aramaic of the book of Daniel, it's Bar Enosh, but it's the same thing. Bar Enosh is just Aramaic for Ben Adam. So it originally just means human being, because you have a beast that's like a lion, a beast that's like a bear, a beast that's like a leopard, a beast with 10 horns, and now we have this thing which is like a human being. So it's just using the same language, and over time, Ben Adam and Bar Enosh just become more used, not just for like meaning human being, but becoming a messianic title.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating how it does meet human, and I'm thinking that there might be some sort of missing interpretation or something. Maybe, I don't know if the authors thought something differently when they were using that title, but awesome. I just wanted to know
I'll give you the same advice I'm about to give to myself. Crack open John J. Collins' book, on his commentary on the Book of Daniel, or he's got plenty of videos on YouTube that you can watch.
Okay, awesome. Well, appreciate you. Thanks again for teaching me everything that I know now. So, props to you.
Happy to help. All right.
It's Ben Adam as opposed to Ben Bitch.
What?
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I need to talk to Ashley from North Dakota.
Oh god.
I'll let me go grab her. Give me a second. Hello.
Hello. T. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18?
Yes.
And what pronouns do you go by?
She, her.
And are you a Christian or a non-believer of some kind?
I'm Christian.
All right. What brings you up to the Bible Guys show?
I've got a question for you.
Mhm.
So what do you do with the historical Jesus? Because scholarly consensus is Jesus is a real historical figure and existed and was possibly crucified. So what do you do with that evidence?
Yeah, I mean, there were lots of men in the 1st century CE who were named Jesus. It was quite a popular Jewish name among men, Yeshua. And then there were thousands of Jewish men who were crucified. So while when it comes to like historicity versus mythicism, I'm like 51% in favor of historicity, 49% in favor of mythicism. Like I'm basically almost on the line there. But like the claim that there was a guy named Jesus who was crucified, I'm fine with accepting it because it's not really all that extraordinary.
Right, but you do agree that Christianity today, we believe in a particular Jesus, and the followership of that Jesus is one particular Jesus. So
You
your
believe
argument
in
of there were Jesuses that were crucified, but that's not the Jesus we're following. So there's just one Jesus
wait,
in
you
particular.
don't wait. No, you do follow if you're a Christian, you follow a Jesus who was crucified.
Right, yes. And is one, we all follow the same Jesus that was crucified. So my argument is there were multiple Jesuses that were possibly crucified. How
And
come they haven't got their own following? Because you phrased it in a way that there
because
might be
this
multiple Jesus.
Oh, yeah, because just Jesus may have like claimed to be the Messiah, and then mix that with the fact that his followers probably had some sort of like bereavement hallucination, some sort of psychological phenomenon that resulted in them believing he resurrected. This is the reason why his particular movement moved on, because he was the one that claimed to be the Messiah. I mean, he wasn't the only Messiah claimant in the 1st century, but this is the Jesus who claimed to be Messiah in the 1st century.
It was also adopted by Rome because of Constantine's mother, I think.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, the reason why it's so prevalent is because Christianity for so long was won by the sword, meaning they would just kill you.
1 second.
In fact, have you ever heard of a person named Marcion?
Right. The reason why I brought this up is we
Well,
all
TT.
have to agree. We all have to agree that this Jesus is unique in some sense,
Well,
and it's one Jesus that we all one Jesus that
Everyone-
all Christians
everyone's
believe in.
Everyone's
Because
unique.
by your argument,
Wait,
then
TT,
there will be
TT,
multiple. There'll be a new
every-
Christianity
every-
every other year.
No, well, Menachem Mendel Schneerson. His group, his followers are basically like a new Christianity. You know who Menachem Mendel Schneerson is?
No, I do not.
He was one of the lead Jewish leader. He was the chief rabbi of Chabad Lubavitch, a particular sect of Orthodox Judaism. And there were lots of people in the 1990s who thought that the Rebbe was the Mashiach, the Messiah, and then he died. But that didn't stop his followers from thinking is that there are still many people today who are Meshichists, who think he is
relative
the
to
Messiah.
Christians, it's
Well,
not.
that's
You
because
can't
it's
compare it.
well, that's because it's only been around for like a couple decades. Like it's at the same stage that Christianity was when it got started. You had 2,000 years more time to develop, and also your religion, like Ashton pointed out, was adopted by the world empire, being Rome, which is one of the main reasons why it became so prominent. But who knows where
Also-
the Meshichist movement will be in a few hundred years?
Also, TT, have you know about Joseph Smith, right?
Yeah, I do. But
Okay.
you
That
still
that
can't
is
compare
a
the numbers. You
pretty
still can't
prominent. So numbers doesn't matter. There was a point in time in which the majority of the Earth, like people on Earth, thought the Earth was flat. That's just an appeal to it's an ad populum. It's a logical fallacy.
In fact, with that logic, if we take a look at how fast Mormonism itself grew in compared to how fast Christianity spread, Mormonism
And they aren't
is
even murdering anyone.
is outpacing Christianity.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm not aware if they're murdering anyone.
Yeah,
They might
you would
be.
have to bring the
They
exact
are one of-
figures for that because it doesn't seem like that. It
They
doesn't
are one
seem
of the
so.
they are one of the fastest growing denominations in Christianity today. You're not Catholic, are you?
Why do you ask?
I was just saying because 50% of all Christians are Catholic. So, like, if we're just going off of what's most popular, I would assume you would be Catholic because it's the most prominent form of Christianity today.
Well, and in fact, Cameron in chat brings up it is the case that Islam in like the next 20 to 40 years is set to outnumber Christianity.
Yeah.
So would that make Islam true?
My original argument is I started from the historical Jesus, and I was trying to prove to the host and the people on the panel that my first question was, what do you do with the evidence of historical Jesus? And then the host rebuttal was, oh, the historical Jesus could be so many other Jesuses, and I'm trying to prove a point that
I
it's
didn't
one
say
Jesus.
I didn't say he could be so many other Jesus. I'm just saying that the idea that there was a guy named Jesus. Well, there's lots of guys named Jesus. So a guy named Jesus, that's not a crazy claim. I'm willing to accept that. And then a guy named Jesus who was crucified. Also, lots of people were crucified. So like, I have
But
no
there's
problem.
a particular Jesus that caused Christianity.
Yes, your particular Jesus was a guy named Jesus who was crucified, and that's not really that extraordinary of a claim for me. I don't think he was the Messiah. I don't think he performed magic. I have no reason to think he
Right.
did.
So what? Yeah, maybe we could explore that. Why do you reject that Jesus is the Messiah?
Oh, because he did not fulfill even one prophecy that's particular to the Messiah from the Old Testament.
So you reject the first coming and second coming of Christ.
Well, I reject that he fulfilled any prophecies from the Old Testament.
Okay.
Can you name one he fulfilled in its original context?
Right. So do you understand that Christians believe in the first coming and second coming, and they look at prophecy through the lens of first coming and second coming?
No, Jesus didn't even fulfill anything in his first coming.
In order for us to accept that there's going to be a second coming, we have to acknowledge that he fulfilled some messianic prophecy in its original context. So could you provide one for us?
So what about the crucifixion prophecy, the suffering servant?
Oh, the suffering servant is not the Messiah. If we read the context of Isaiah 53, we're told 6 times in Deutero-Isaiah, that the servant is the nation of Israel. And also the suffering servant is
how
referred
can
to.
you read the nation of Israel in Isaiah? Is that 53 then, the one that talks about Jesus on the cross?
Yeah. Here, before we talk about Isaiah 53, I have to give you a test. I give everyone this test when we talk about Isaiah 53. I'm going to present to you 2 sentences, and I want you to tell me the difference between these 2 sentences. Sentence number 1, I went to the store. Sentence number 2, I will go to the store.
So one is in the future
And one,
tense.
yeah, one's past tense, right?
Yeah.
So when I read Isaiah 53, I get, but he was wounded for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the punishment that made us whole, and by his bruises we are healed. What tenses are being used here to describe the wounding of the servant?
Past tense.
Which tells me that from the perspective of the author, when did this person suffer?
So do you understand when that prophecy was given? It's when prophecy is given, it's like almost like a vision of something that's happening.
Well,
And if
yeah,
you're describing something if you're describing a story, let's say you see an event and let's say there's a fight going on.
Yeah,
And
you
you're
don't- you
describing
don't-
that fight and you're retelling
you-
the fight and you say,
No.
oh, Anna was beaten up.
Well, no.
Anna was punched. Anna
No.
was this. Would you say?
No.
So
That's not-
yeah,
no, that's
you're
not- that's
retelling.
not-
It's a vision.
that's-
You're
no,
retelling what's
that's not
going to
how
happen.
prophecy-
You're retelling
no.
what you saw in that vision.
No, that's not how prophecy works. An actual example of how prophecy does work in the Bible is it uses future tense. For example,
Not all the time.
Yes. Well, the only way in which prophecy speaks in past tense is if the author says, "I had a dream and a vision, and this is what the vision was." But the author of Isaiah 53 never does that. Never once says, "I had a dream and a vision, and this is what I saw." No, he just speaks about what happened, and then he does speak about what will happen. He says, because if it's all going to be past tense, well, it talks about how the servant will be exalted using future tense, and yet it uses past tense. to
But
describe
you
the
understand in the
suffering.
Christian lens, that's because after the cross, after the
wait,
crucifixion,
wait,
there's a
from-
resurrection.
wait,
So
wait,
that's why
wait,
there's a
wait.
change.
From the perspective of Isaiah, if he's just describing future events using the past tense, both the suffering of the Messiah and his exaltation would both be future, right?
But can you accept the context that if there's a suffering and then after the suffering there's going to be resurrection, there will be a change,
there's-
change in.
Wait, you're not tracking. You're not tracking. Listen. You're making the claim that the reason why Isaiah 53 uses past tense is because Isaiah is like having a vision. He's just describing, I saw him and he was this and he was that. He would also be seeing the exaltation of the Messiah in the same way, right? Like, I saw him exalted and high and lifted up, right?
Not necessarily, because what the Christian view is after the crucifixion and after the suffering
TT,
came the
you're-
resurrection.
you're-
So that's why there is
wait,
a change in
the-
tense,
this-
because he
from-
will
no,
be like,
no.
don't give up. It's almost
TT,
an encouraging.
TT,
It's an encouraging. But let me just complete this train of thought.
No, listen. The suffering of Jesus and his resurrection are both in the future from the perspective of the author of Isaiah. If the author of Isaiah is going to use past tense for the suffering, he's going to use past tense for the exaltation. But he doesn't. He describes that the servant, who he's already told us explicitly has told us, the servant is Israel, over and over again. He says, the servant is Israel. The servant is Israel. The servant is Israel. When he gets to Isaiah 52, verse 13, he says, my servant will be exalted and highly lifted up. But then he says, he was wounded, which means that the only part of this thing that's just part of the future is the exaltation of the servant. Also, the servant is referred to as a them at one point in the text. Them, plural. Jesus isn't a plural, he's one person.
So, host, do you bring up Bible? Are you able to bring up the scripture?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can go verse by verse if you don't mind. I don't know how you do it on your platform.
Yeah, and real quick-
only if we start in 52.
52 is important. And I do got to hop down. But before I do, I want to say that every time Isaiah 53 is brought up, a time dilation happens, and you literally throw the Jewish people back into Babylonian exile. You can talk to Dr. Blitz about this. He'll confirm it.
All right. Here,
Yeah.
let me see. Here we go.
Yeah, if you start in 52, I find it very interesting that kings shall shut their mouths because of him. That didn't happen.
Yeah. I have here, behold, my servant shall prosper. He shall be exalted and lifted up, and shall be very high. As many wondered about you, how marred his appearance is from that of a man, and his feature from that of people, so shall he cast down many nations. Kings shall shut their mouths because of him. For what had not been told them, they saw, and at what they had not heard, they gazed. That's the beginning of it. Notice it says, my servant. And 6 times in Isaiah, the servant is called Israel specifically. Let's see. Who has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Well, that answer is actually given to us in chapter 52, verse 10. It says that the arm of the Lord is revealed to the nations. And he came up like a sapling before it, and like a root from dry ground, which Israel is in the book of Isaiah is referred to as a sapling that comes forward from dry ground. He had no form or now he notice that the language, he had no form. It's talking about the past now. We saw him that he had no appearance, nor shall we desire him. Despised and rejected by men, a man of pains and accustomed to illness, and as one who hides his face from us, despised, and we held him of no account. The nations did despise and reject the people of Israel. Indeed, he bore our illnesses, our pains, and carried them, yet we accounted him as plagued, smitten by God, and oppressed. But he was pained because of our transgressions, crushed because of our iniquities. The chastisement of our welfare was upon him, and with his wounds we were healed. We all went astray like sheep. We have turned each one on his way, and the Lord accepted his prayers for the iniquity of us all. The Jewish people pray for the nations all the time for their iniquities. He was oppressed, which he was, and he was afflicted, yet he would not open his mouth. Like a lamb to the slaughter, he would not. He would be brought, and like a ewe that is mute before his shearers, he would not open his mouth. For imprisonment and from judgment he was taken, referring to the exile of the Jewish people. And his generation, who shall tell? For he was cut off from the land of the living, which is describing what we have in Ezekiel 37, where it describes the nation of Israel as being like dead people who are brought back from the exile. For he was cut off from the land. Because of the transgression of my people, a plague befell them. Them, not him, them. It refers to the servant as a them, plural. And he gave his grave to the wicked, and to the wealthy with his kinds of death, because he committed no violence. There was no deceit in his mouth. By the way, Zephaniah 3:13 says about the remnant of Israel that they were done no violence and no deceit was in their mouth. And the Lord wished to crush him. He made him ill, and his soul makes itself restitution. He shall see children. And Jesus never had kids, but the nation of Israel did. He shall prolong his days, and God's purpose shall prosper in his hand. From the toil of his soul he shall see. He would be satisfied with his knowledge. My servant shall vindicate the just for many, and their iniquities he would bear. Therefore I will allot him a portion in public, and with the strong they shall plunder, because he poured out his soul to death, and with transgressors he was counted. By the way, the righteous among Israel, they suffered alongside the wicked in Israel. And he bore the sin of many and interceded for the transgressors. And that, again, this is the job of the Jewish people, to intercede for transgressors.
Okay, thanks for reading that. So I can tell that you have great knowledge of Old Testament, and you have great knowledge of atonement, particularly because I would like us to explore that chapter from the lens of atonement. So when I say atonement, I mean how in the Old Testament Levitical laws of how you had to basically sacrifices for sin.
Well, for
So
unintentional sin.
so the wages of sin is death, and we can already see from the garden after the first sin.
Whoa, quoting Paul, are we now?
Are we just going to
Well, from
throw
the
out
garden after the
Christian
first sin,
buzzwords?
God said, "If you eat of this fruit, you shall surely die." So we can
Well,
establish from the Old Testament
that's not what.
that
Wait, that's not exactly what he said. You missed part of the quote. What he actually said to Adam was, "In the day you eat of it, you will die," which didn't happen.
yeah, because Christianity believes in spiritual death,
I
and
know.
Adam
You have
was
to.
separated from God.
You have. I know.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah,
to
I
add.
just wanted to be sure we're on the same page.
You have
Yeah.
to add words to the text to make it work. I get it. Yeah, because God
Yeah,
either
I just
lied.
wanted to know because this is the first time I'm speaking to you. I just wanted to be sure that we both understand when I say atonement and when I say sacrifice, like you understand at least the
Yeah,
Christian
but
perspective on that.
can God, according to the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, can God forgive sins without a sacrifice?
Because that's going to be a whole new conversation. Let me just go back to Isaiah. Basically, so if we consider atonement, what happens during atonement and what happens for sacrifice? Do you agree with me that a sacrifice is basically something else bears bears the consequences of your sin, so you don't have to die. Something else dies in your place.
Is in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, so it will usually be a lamb, an animal, or a
person.
bird, or whatever you can afford.
Or
It's
people
never
group.
a person. The Old Testament laws wasn't a person. It was
Incorrect.
never a person.
Well, that's because the atonement of Isaiah 53 isn't atonement from the Torah. It's a different kind. It's not giving us. It's not give because if we're gonna go by that rule, then Jesus can't be, because Jesus isn't an actual lamb. He's a person.
So yeah, that's why you agree that that's why Christians call Jesus the Lamb and the Passover Lamb, and Jesus himself
but he's not actually
claims to be the Lamb because he's representing.
But he's not actually a lamb.
He's doing the responsibilities of a lamb.
What's the Torah's position on human sacrifice?
Exactly. So that's why Jesus can't be fully man.
No.
Because if Jesus was human, God would forbid it.
Wait, did his mom fuck a sheep or something? He's not a lamb.
He's playing the role of a lamb.
Okay, then guess what? The nation of Israel played the role of a lamb in Isaiah 53.
You can't say that. That's what I'm trying to show here. Because Israel cannot be. Because who is in trouble in that sense? Who is in exile?
The nation. The nation.
Exactly. So if the nation's in exile, they can't sacrifice on their behalf.
I see the problem here. You're not aware of the fact that there's such a thing as the righteous remnant. And the righteous,
so I'm aware of this.
Are you aware of the fact that the righteous remnant, that they went into exile and they suffered because of the sins of others?
So the righteous remnant cannot bear the sin of Israel because human beings cannot bear the sins of others.
Yes, they can.
God makes that very firm in the Old Testament that humans will not bear the sin of others. Humans can't be sacrificed for other humans.
Incorrect.
Humans can't be sacrificed for other humans.
Incorrect. God actually once called for human sacrifice.
What verse?
Yeah, Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 25. God tells the Israelites that he actually commanded them to sacrifice their infants in order to horrify them.
So God was what's the word? God hated that the nations around Israel were committing human sacrifice.
You're half right. In the book of Jeremiah,
and it was an abomination. He despised it so much.
Okay,
we can see God clear.
Okay, I didn't have to do that. Yes, in the book of Jeremiah, God hates child sacrifice. In the book of Ezekiel, he's A-okay with it because, fun fact, there is no one divine profile for the deity in the Hebrew Bible. Different authors have different perceptions and different conceptualizations of what God is A-okay with and what he's against. The author of Jeremiah says that God hates human sacrifice. The author of Ezekiel, God specifically says that he commanded it. So that's fine. Now, I have to pee so bad. I need you to address the fact that the author of Isaiah specifically says that Israel is the servant. You can unmute yourself now.
So I will agree with you that Israel is referred many times as the servant, and Christians already know Israel were chosen, they were elect people, and God chose them to bring the Messiah.
We
have to see if you read.
All right, T, okay. I'm gonna need you to let Dalton respond.
Actually, you know what? I have to pee really bad, and we are 25 minutes over. I don't give a shit about this conversation. T, you're more than welcome to come back, but next time, don't fucking overtalk me when I'm trying to have a conversation with you. All right, I've got to pee really fucking bad, guys. I've had to pee for 30 minutes. Let me see who's live right now that I can send you guys off to.
Dalton, you can spiritually pee during the live.
Oh, right, spiritually pee. Right. I had to spiritually pee. You can hear the urgency in my voice. When someone disagrees, it's over talking. Set a timer then. TT, no. Oh, honey, no. What you did was, I tried to respond to you and you just kept fucking going. Let's see. Right now, Ogar is live. Everyone go over to Ogar's live. Next time we'll rip you apart on Isaiah 53 TT when I don't have to fucking pee. All right. Okay. With that, I've been the Bible guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again on Thursday. Bye.
Born from dust and questioning fire. like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame. He tears through mist, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align. Knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell. He reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible guide, seeker of the light. Through time and fire he rides the night. With reason's blade and wisdom's cry. The world shall hear the Bible guide. Scrolls of ages, words aflame. He dares to question every name. From Eden's dawn to Calvary's sky, he breaks the chains of every lie. Logos, Logos, the word and the flame. Reason shall rise and truth has a name. The Bible guide, he shines with reason's holy light. Through myth and faith, through earth and sky, forever our light, the Bible guide.
Oh, I feel so much better. Yeah. Bye.